you now the Wine Merchants starting lineup, starting with the North Carolina Tar Heels. And the loaded attack is Sonky, Martin, and Crofton.
Sonky, one to watch, big lefty out of Michigan.
Damon, Herrick, and Miller in the midfield.
Herrick, the senior leader, look for him to make an impact today.
And Mayer, Leader, and Lewis on the defensive end.
Carolina thinks Todd Mayer is one of the best. He has a chance to prove it here today.
Now let's go to the home field Hopkins Blue Jays and take a look at that rework attack. The attack has a new look with Adam Doniger in there, the young freshman, joined by Benson, another freshman, and of course the leader, Dan Denahan.
And we know the leader is Dan Denahan. He needs a big effort today.
The midfield, A.J. Hogan, Denahan has pointless last week against Virginia, has to get the tackle on track. They have a new look defense.
Still the leader of that defense. Testa will be matched up against Carolina's best. He has to have a great effort today.
Now let's take a look at Chris Blindenbacher. His save percentage about 64, 8.5 goals against. He'll be tested today with those key offensive people on the Hopkins offense. He'll get his work cut out for him. Very bright. He's in the shade area. Starts off well. Carcaterra will have the sun to his left. He's having a little bit of an off year, Mark.
Yes, sir is, Lee. Career save-wise, goals against average about 3+. Save percentage down about 13 points, 48%.
Take a look at our keys to the game now, Mark Dixon.
The big three for Carolina, we talked about them. Martin, Crawford, and Sonky have to step up. Martin held goalless last year, 21-12. Hopkins win, and they have to keep it close early, Lee. Adam Doniger going out there to inject some life into the Hopkins attack. Carolina has to take those shots. For Hopkins, 3D. Connor and Dan Denahan need to have big days offensively today, and the close defense for Hopkins really needs to get it together and get their stuff in order, and Hopkins needs to play a full 60 minutes of lacrosse league in order to get a W against a tough Tar Heel squad.
That's our Toyota keys to the game as Wheaton, who was an excellent football player in his high school days, gets the opening faceoff for the home team Blue Jays. Down to Dan Denahan, and the new one, the new attacking Doniger in the back. This is a freshman. He's big, though. 6'1", 210.
Real big player, a linebacker in high school football-wise, and we saw that he is excited to be out there. Great week of practice. 2 quick goals against Virginia last week. He looks to energize this Hopkins attack.
And Hopkins will load up with Shaverly, giving it off to A.J. Hogan. Doniger looks to find Denahan, and Denahan has to shake free of the defense before giving it off to the wing. Shaverly looking to just keep the ball moving as they set up something. And Mark, what do they like to do to get things on track offensively?
Hopkins very patient, looking for a matchup. They have Dan Denahan from behind. Justin Shaverly does have a short stick matchup. Look for Shaverly to go to the cage. If not, they'll give it to A.J. Hogan to run the Carolina long pole, Bobby Cornston.
Cornston's a tough one with a long stick, but Hogan can take on 2 and 3 players at a time. Looks for the open man as the slide comes. Between the wickets, it's a 5-hole on Blindenbacher. And that one, you got a piece of it, but it's trickling between the legs. It's 1-0, and we only have 1:10 gone.
You talk about 3D for Hopkins. Dan Denahan getting an assist. Connor Denahan, his brother, getting the goal. Here you see A.J. Hogan, very smart play. Gets it backside. There's Dan Denahan. Hey, Connor, look at me. He gets it time and room, high to low. And as you said, Blindenbacher got a piece of it, but not enough to keep it out of the cage. Second look, Dan Denahan, pump fake, up to Connor, time and room, high to low. That's Connor Denahan's favorite shot. Finds the back of the net. 1-0 Hopkins. They get the early lead. They have to be feeling good about themselves. Especially Connor Denahan, 7th goal of the season after being held pointless against the Virginia Cavaliers.
Matt Hammer for North Carolina, number 9, have to take this faceoff. The first faceoff was Ryan Damon. They've got the second unit out there now. Interestingly enough, as Wheaton picks up the control ball, he's 2 for 2 now. When you look at the numbers for North Carolina, Mark, the second unit has 3 times the goal production as the first unit in midfield.
The top 6 midfielders for North Carolina are all very similarly, but the second midfield unit getting the job done, especially Steve Will, a freshman out of Delaney High School from here in Baltimore.
Connor Denahan has his team in front 1-0 as he moves the ball in front to Shaverly. A.J. Hogan now sets his sights on Dobson, the defender, as they rotate behind. The big young freshman Adam Doniger starting for the first time in his career. Locking and loading against a short stick defense of Hammer, and he comes inside Hammer. Sensational save by Blindenbacher. He got great position inside, and Blindenbacher makes a nice save.
Good defense by Matt Hammer. Adam Doniger, a big, strong Dodger, got inside of him, but then Matt Hammer just squeezed him into the goal. Didn't allow him to get that stick free for a real efficient shot on Cage.
And what we noticed was they put a short stick on Doniger, the freshman, and they rolled the 2 poles up to the midfield unit of Connor Denahan and A.J. Hogan.
Connor Denahan and A.J. Hogan returning All-Americans. Connor, honorable mention, A.J. first team, so they're looking to create that matchup and maybe getting ahead of the freshman, Adam Doniger, a little early.
Doniger will have his chances to be a hero in this game. 1-0, Hopkins leads early on as the Carolina Tar Heels get their first offensive set. And they will move back with Sankey from Michigan. We've got 3 players on this team from Michigan, and he's one of them and probably the best.
A real hotbed of lacrosse Michigan is becoming, and Jeff Sankey matched up against Sean Nadel and looked for Sankey to run him early, but now it looks like Brandon Testa stepping up for the Jays and getting the strip.
Martin started that offensive set. He got stripped. This is Will coming in, almost challenging, but flying out of nowhere was Brendan Shook. Shook is so tough and slides beautifully, very active in the defensive end.
He really is. He's looking to hit first and ask questions later. That time you see very quick slide, cut off Stephen Will's angle to the goal.
Carolina still, though, in control as they give it back to Sankey. The big junior coming in there and really getting racked hard from the new defensive starter, Nadalin. All the way back out to Hopkins end of the field. Nobody can pick it up, and these loose balls, of course, mean big possessions in a close game. 1-0, Hopkins leads early.
Scrapping on the ground ball. John Brasco with a nifty pickup right there, but he's unable to clear it, and it's a scrum at midfield.
Brasco, the long stick midfielder for Hopkins, and Tim York kind of tried to pick that one up, pushed it out of bounds, but it'll be a Hopkins ball.
Here you see great hustle leave. North Carolina player picking the ball up. Will trying to get it into his offensive zone. Check. Brendan Shook stays on it. Then John Brasco comes over looking to clear, but all he runs into is Carolina Blue. Great ride by the Tar Heels, but then the ball goes out of bounds. Possession over to the Blue Jays. Second midfield unit running now for the Blue Jays lead. And I talked to Coach Todd Cavallero, the offensive coordinator for the Blue Jays. He said these guys will run a lot today, and they need some increased production out of this unit.
Rabiano getting inside the long stick, gives it out front, and the shot was deflected by great defensive work. Carolina had Hunter Lewis in there blocking that one, and here they go with a fast break the other way.
Good idea by Rabiano drawing the man, but it turns into a turnover. Shot didn't even get to the cage. Now Carolina will set things up, and there you see Chase Martin, the big attackman, over to Jeff Sankey. These guys will control the flow for North Carolina.
Going back to the other end, Rabiano beat his man, but he didn't give up the ball, and 2 people came over, slid on him, and just gobbled him up.
There you see Chase Martin with a nice rocker step coming back to the cage. We've seen Sankey from one side, Chase Martin from the other. Hopkins has to be aware for that turnaround shot as Brian Carcaterra looks to clear for the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays look very comfortable on the defensive end with Nadalin back there for the first time this year. And Carcaterra, probably the best goalie out of the cage in Division I lacrosse, easily brings it across.
Very athletic. He's a fire plug. He's the backbone and heart and soul of this defense. As he goes, so does the Hopkins defense. And that's a good start for him. Nice save and good clearing attempt. Getting the ball into the stick of Ryan Quinn. It looks like Quinn, the junior out of St. Mary's High School in Long Island, will have a go against this Carolina short stick.
Well, he's got Jordan Herrick, number 23, playing defense on him, and Quinn will lock him up. Everybody else sets back for the slide, making it a long slide for Carolina. And when they do come, he'll dish it out top. Now to Connor Denahan, and they move it all the way across to the brand new starter, Adam Doniger.
Ryan Quinn, very comfortable dodging. He's an attackman all last year, his sophomore season here at Homewood. So that short stick matchup should prove advantageous for the Blue Jays, should they look to push it.
Rabiano again, doesn't want to take it this time. Ryan Quinn again, 2 short sticks behind. John Halls and the Hopkins Blue Jays, very patient. They don't have a big, deep lineup. They don't want to take into a run and gun kind of offense. They want to take their time and get the shots they want.
Virginia got Hopkins caught up in a run and gun style last week. We saw how Virginia was able to wear the Blue Jays down, going that 6-0 run in the 4th quarter. Hopkins didn't have anything left in the tank. They're looking to maybe conserve some energy here this afternoon.
Great move into the crease. They tried to find the open stick of Frattarola.
Looks like we might have a push on North Carolina. Rob Frattarola that time popped wide open for Dave Rabiano. We talked about Rabiano having to create. He's done it twice now, drawing slides. Beats his man, gets a step on the inversion, and there's Rob Frattarola wide open. Point hits it right in the head, and then he's shoved into the crease by the Carolina defense. Break for the Blue Jays. That could have been a goal, but now they do enjoy another possession.
Last meeting, 21-12, April 3rd last year. That was a huge offensive day for the Blue Jays. They would be really excited to get those kind of numbers today. Off to a 1-0 lead as they bring it back in. These slowed down offensive sets, Mark, can be deceiving because Hopkins gets as many shots a game as most teams in the country. You'd be shocked to know probably that they shoot more than Virginia on a per-game average.
They do, and then last week against Virginia in the first quarter, they outshot the Cavaliers. They outshot Syracuse 2 weeks ago, but it looks like now they're trying, instead of just putting the ball on cage and getting those stats, they're looking for high, efficient, high percentage shots. And thus far, they're doing a good job. They just have to execute a little bit better on the offensive half, does Hopkins.
Robiano waits for the midfield to shift. He's deep in the corner, getting a little bit of pressure from Bobby Gorbson. And now the new line with A.J. Hogan fresh. Coming on to play against a tired Ryan Damon. Damon really extending the defense out to the wing. A fresh unit in for Hopkins. This defensive unit has been out there for a little bit of time now. Let's see if they can take advantage of that as Connor Denahan sets on the near side. Defensively, Joel Myler rolling inside. Connor Denahan gets 2 players on him, tries to get free, and he can't get rid of it. He has a double team, but can't find any help. Carolina doing a nice job of cutting off adjacent players. Finally, Hogan coming up and helping out.
Really a good job by the Carolina defense, squeezing Connor Denahan. As I said, he likes to get time in the room. They did not allow him to get that, and as a result, has to move the ball, and A.J. Hogan turns it over for Hopkins.
Well, Doniger had a chance to redirect that one into the goal. He missed that one moments ago. Fraterola missed one on the crease. So twice they missed great shot opportunities by just taking their eye off the ball in the last 2 minutes.
The execution wasn't there, Leaf, but Hopkins has to be happy. The second midfield unit, that was a real good possession for them, and you wouldn't think that they would turn. You'd think they'd turn the ball over, and not the first team All-American A.J. Hogan. So real nice start for the second midfield unit for Hopkins, but the first now just has to play a little bit more patient and look to have the success and get the looks that the second midfield unit enjoyed.
They definitely had some great looks and great chances to score. They still lead 1-0. First quarter action still. Lee Felsmo, Mark Dixon from Homewood Field. Carolina brings that 6-2 mark into this game. Hopkins at 1-3, looking to just turn this thing around. Very tough schedule early on this year.
Big game for both teams, too. 2-game losing streaks for each squad, and arguably the toughest competition thus far on Carolina's schedule. Duke and Maryland both beat the Tar Heels, so this will be a huge quality win for the Tar Heels to put them in position for the NCAA tournament.
Invert now as they try to go against the shorts on this end of the field. The long sticks, very tough to beat in this game of lacrosse at this level, so most teams like to isolate against the short stick defenders. There'll be 2 of them out there, and here they are right now getting a little bit of pressure. Timmy Muir, 32, gets pressure, but he does a nice job, and they try to push it inside to get a shot for Andy Garrison. Couldn't collect it.
Garrison just couldn't handle. Great look that time, though, by Chase Martin, and we have a flag on the play. It looks like it'll be a push on Rich Schwester for the Blue Jays.
Mark Hammer was the player coming in, and Hammer launched himself in. The dive, of course, is not legal into the crease. He was really pushing the limits of that rule.
It looks like the referee will pick up the laundry. They threw the flag initially, but then they will say just that, Leaf, that Mac Hammer launched himself. Schwester did not push him, and that's a great break for the Blue Jays. Good call by the referees to make up for the inadvertent flag.
They got together, conferred on that one, got it right, and here comes Brendan Shook looking for a little bit of help, taking their time, and they're in that middle zone. There's no timing pressure in this zone. When they get into that quadrant, they've got 10 seconds to get it down to where they just lost it.
And just a silly turnover. Hopkins, we saw plenty of that at Virginia last week. The coaching staff, John Haas, very frustrated. Hopkins will have to cut down on those types of plays, those types of mistakes to remain competitive against Carolina.
Kyle Bell looking for help, couldn't find it. Connor Denahan picks it up, and here goes Hopkins with a very controlled clear. Connor Denahan just weaving through the defensive checks of Jeff Sonke.
Connor Denahan, no knee brace today. That has to be a good sign for the Blue Jays. Of course, Connor suffering from arthritis in that left knee. He's been on again, off again this season, Leaf. He was very on against Syracuse, 5 goals and assists. Very off against Virginia, double donuts. But he does have a goal here today.
Hopkins has to be very frustrated with the output last week of their 3 top players. Hogan and both Denahans. 1 goal between them. That won't happen very often. They'd look to get on track today. Dan Denahan controls from behind. This is the unquestioned leader, and he gets to an inside move. Beautifully done. Justin Shaverly just cut from the outside. They're playing the perimeter very tough. Carolina is. Shaverly took advantage of that. Backdoor cut. He gets a nice goal. They've missed 2 of those connections. This one they hit.
Nifty backdoor that time by Shaverly. Dan Denahan, when you have a guy who can feed and shoot with the efficiency and proficiency of Dan Denahan, you have to respect him. Here, Justin Shaverly sees his defenseman turn his head. Shaverly finds a seam, comes in. Beautiful shot over the left shoulder of Blindenbacher. Justin Shaverly with his 4th goal of the season. There you see it again. Shaverly comes in, fakes, goes high to high. Nice shot on Blindenbacher. And they used to say, Leaf, when you see the players players turn their heads, and you see the laces of the old helmets. That's when you would go. But he saw the back of that blue Cascade, the Robinade colors of the Tar Heels, and Shaverly took off uncontested. Great play by the Blue Jays.
Whedon now owning the faceoffs against number 12, Ryan Damon. And now up to Shook. Brendan Shook just coasting across. He's got a lot of legs and a great athletic ability. He can take it in.
Timeout called.
Timeout called. And right now we've got 4:50 left in the first quarter. You see the score, 2-0. Hopkins really controlling in minutes on their offensive end of the field. And as they have done all year, getting shots, ability to can them has been their problem.
Very patient today for Hopkins, and his patience is paying off with a 2-0 lead. Great start for the Blue Jays here at Homewood on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon.
Let's take a look at how Division I stacks up right now, Mark Dixon. We'll take a look at the STX coaches poll, USILA, and Syracuse, Virginia up top. Nobody questions that in that order. We'll see at the end of the year. Then it's a dogfight, 3 through 9. Loyola, Princeton, Duke, Maryland, Georgetown, North Carolina, Navy, Hopkins. I would say all those teams are fighting for some kind of jousting for position in that top 10. And then let's go through the 11 through 20.
11 through 20, you have Cornell. Great job by Dave Pachamala up there. Hofstra at 12, Harvard 13, Brown, and you see the rest. But right now, the Carolinas and the Marylands and Virginias are getting into the meat of that ACC schedule. Then they'll beat each other up again in the ACC tournament. Huge game today, Georgetown versus Navy. The winner of that game will get an automatic NCAA bid, winning the ECAC. Their EC coach John Hawes, very animated, very intense. Second season here at Hopkins, and he's not smiling like that beach ball right now. He has game face on, and the Blue Jays reflect the coach's attitude. They're looking to get after it.
Well, they feel pretty good about this one so far. 2-0. They have the lead, and we are 4:40 away from ending the first quarter.
Who's won?
Lee Felsmo, Mark Dixon, our coverage of men's lacrosse on HTS. And again, they start against the short sticks. Rob Frattarola back to his teammate, Robbiano. And Robbiano will go against the defensive checks of Mac Hammer, and he is a tough defensive midi, number 9.
He is, and that's why it's not that big of a gamble to put him on Adam Doniger. Mac Hammer, a very, very excellent short stick midfielder defender for the Tar Heels.
As they isolate down the corner to the right of your screen, there's a lot of cat and mouse going on, people cutting to get open. As Frattarola tries to get the ball inside. Now, Denahan, a lot of moving room. He had a ton of room, and he just drove left-handed. When you get that size of a body coming that fast, very tough to control.
And Dan Denahan has worked so hard in his off seasons. There you see, when he gets a full head of steam, he's very tough to stop. That time he just ran out of a little bit of an angle. Todd Mara left in the dust by Dan Denahan, but he's worked so hard, Leaf, in the past 2 seasons. He's dropped about 20, 25 pounds. He is really a lean, mean fighting machine on attack for Johns Hopkins.
Robbiano against Hammer. That's the marquee matchup right now for control. Denahan comes back and very calmly looks out for some feeding opportunities. Comes inside of Mayer, Todd Mayer with the defensive checks, and Doniger comes over, makes a nice move. The freshman goes underneath. The Hammer missed him. He's looking for somebody open in front. He gets him, and the shot off the back of the net. Almost a goal for Frattarola.
Frattarola has had 2 great chances right now. One pass hit him in the head. That one put into the back of the net. Rob Frattarola 0 for 2. I bet he wishes he could have those 2 chances back.
Chase Martin gets it behind the goal, and they worked around to Sankey, and he'll just kind of settle things down as they change their midfield unit, get their offensive guns on the field.
Sankey looking against Nadalin. He's a big, strong left-hander, Leaf, so if he goes right, he's coming back left. He's a great dodger. Really a good find, talent-wise, out of Michigan for Dave Klarman and the Tar Heel staff.
Nadalin not giving him that drive left, really sealing off the left-handed drive. Quickly to move it around up top, Tim Gosier.
Gosier in last year's meeting, Leaf, sprained his ankle in the opening possession for North Carolina, missed the rest of the contest. He's a guy who can really shake and bake and move. A tremendous athlete for the Tar Heels.
Crofton is a tough guy to control. Off to Will and company, and Carcaterra just splits the riding attack. And now he's in a little bit of trouble. Hit from behind. He's got to cast that ball up. Nobody in the goal, but Carolina can't pick it up cleanly. Nice riding job. And Carcaterra points in the direction of Hopkins. He got away with one there, didn't he, Mark?
He did. He came out of the goal and found himself in no man's land. Carolina Blue collapsing all around him. And there you see he just loses the ball. But Brian doesn't realize that he's lost the ball because he's still trying to play with it and get it out of harm's way. There you see he thought he had it. And Carolina right here, you see the attackman kicked it out of bounds. Break for the Blue Jays. Back on offense. Here comes Hopkins.
Connor Denahan coming into the game with 6 goals, gets it behind to his brother, and Dan now very comfortably over to the new starting attackman, Adam Doniger.
Donegan being covered by Zach Leader for the Tar Heels. Big, strong defenseman for North Carolina. So this is a real test for Adam Donegan, but he's just moving the ball around. First midfield unit for Hopkins back on. A.J. Hogan against a short stick. Hopkins will take this matchup any day of the week.
Hogan impossible to cover by one guy. He's got a great right and a left. Connor Denahan inside. This is trouble. Off the pipe and high behind the goal. Dan Denahan picks it up, now moves it way up top to Donegan. Back to Denahan, looking to the crease for a pass, falls down when he gets back to Donegan, and of course they lose possession on the wing. Backed up by Hogan.
Good job of Hopkins that time of stretching the North Carolina defense, but you saw the respect that is paid to A.J. Hogan. He hadn't even started his dodge yet, and the man was already going. Put Connor Denahan in a position to get open and get that shot off that just dinged the crossbar.
Peyton Chain, 42, is giving a lot of good defensive checks there as Hogan comes down. 2 players on him, and you see, just as you talked about, he still gets his shot off. So hard to cover, and you really can't tell of any velocity change in his right hand and his left hand. He's got a great motion shot, right-handed and left-handed.
A.J. Hogan is a natural right-hander, but goalies will tell you, his teammates will tell you, the coaching staff will tell you, he comes with that laser in the left hand. It comes at you about 95, 100 miles an hour. Can shoot equally well both hands, but a real talent that his offhand is better than his normal right hand.
Again, they get it back to Sankey, and Sankey trying to drive Nowlin, but he cannot get past the new starting post defender, Nowlin. It's worked so far. Nobody has done the nets for Carolina as you're down to about 30 seconds in the first quarter.
Big difference between now and the last 2 games, Lee, for Hopkins is that guys aren't getting shots from 4 and 5 yards out on Carcaterra. They're making him shoot from 10, 12 yards out, and Hopkins feels very confident that Bryant will come up with those saves when given the chance.
Carcaterra in his senior year. Best year so far was his sophomore year, looking to regain some numbers with a little bit of different defensive support. Carolina taking their time, getting in close to Carcaterra. They hammer him, and Testa and Carcaterra give him a little bit of a squeeze play as time winds down in the first quarter. Hopkins takes a 2-0 lead against the visiting Carolina Tar Heels. We'll be back with quarter number 2 in just a moment.
Brian had a lot to do with certainly where the game is right now.
I think of quality and excellence in product and sticks.
I think it's a combination of history in the game, their willingness to be innovative.
Brian's been there from the start. We're very happy with the equipment, the quality, the protection.
It didn't take long for the players to be saying to us, Coach, this is the stuff we want to be wearing.
It's nice to note they've been there and they're going to be there in the future.
We set out to build a new full-size truck unlike anything else on the road today. Its 32-valve I-Force V8 engine will redefine performance, and its one-piece frame rail chassis will give new meaning to strength. And yet there is one crucial area where we fall short of most other competitors in our class, and that's price. Introducing the new full-size Toyota Tundra. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
How do you catch the fastest game on 2 feet? Log on to Street and Smith's collegelacrosseusa.com. Scores, highlights, teams, stats, polls. We focus on what matters most in the lacrosse world. collegelacrosseusa.com, the definitive source for lacrosse news. Powered by Street and Smith Sports.
At Hopkins with Mark Dixon, I'm Lee Felsmo, and Mark, it could be a lot more than 2-0.
2 near misses right here. Adam Donegan beats his man on the wing, finds Rob Frattarola, and there you see Frattarola had 2 options: shoot, or there you see the quick slide, pass it up, hit the side of the cage. Hopkins has to can those opportunities, and then you'll see another one right here. No, we won't cut that out. We'll cut back to live action, it looks like, with the face-off opening up the second quarter. Yeah, but here we go. A.J. Hogan, quick slide comes from the defense of Carolina. Connor Denahan steps in, cocks that stick back, looks for a time and room. Boom! but Boink hits off the top of the crossbar. 2 near misses, could really be 4-0, but Hopkins still up 2-0 here, Leaf. Begin the second quarter of action at Homewood Field.
Well, they've swapped ends. Second quarter, as we've mentioned, 2-0. 2-0. You can see the score. Not to mention those 2 goals, but also, Mark, they had a couple of misses. Fraterolo, in particular, on the crease. Watch out. Bounce shot in close by Tim Gauthier. And then, tell you what, he put that heat on Carcaterra low. John Hall's going nuts as they score the first goal.
Tim Gozier just with a simple split move, gets the ball up top, dodges from his left to his right, and simply leaves his defender in the dust. I talked about it earlier, great athlete speed. Look at that, just turns on the afterburners, gets a step, nice bounce shot, beautifully up into the upper corner. No slide really, Brendan Shook a little bit late. Gozier, a burner, I talked about it, hurt his ankle last year, making up for lost time against Hopkins, gets his first goal of the game, and the first goal for his teammates. North Carolina trailing 2-1 here against Hopkins.
Gozier brings him right back, and I tell you what, Mark, those misses always come back to haunt you. Now you look at a close game, even though Johns Hopkins has had possession for probably twice as much time as Carolina.
Well, it came back to haunt him against Syracuse, where they outshot the Orangemen 59-28. And that came down to the last seconds of the game. People say, oh, if they would have had those final couple seconds on the clock, they may have won the game. But hey, if they would have canned the shots in the 59 minutes preceding that point, they would have had a better opportunity. And we're seeing it here again today. Instead of being up 4-5-1, Hopkins only up 2-1. North Carolina calling the timeout. They got a little bit of momentum going their way, and they want to set up just the right play to get another one here against the Blue Jays. John Haas here giving direction to his team.
Okay, can't quite hear. Going back to that shot on Carcaterra, I've got to say, Mark, that looked like a savable shot, too. I mean, he wasn't that close, and Carc went right down to it, but it bounced by him. That was not an unstoppable shot.
Brian Carcaterra has had a tendency early this season, has been dropping to his knees a little bit quicker, and on turf you expect that short hop. You don't expect big hops that you get on grass surface. He was doing it last week against Virginia, but Gozier just came in, and on the run, nice shot, high to low, put the ball Bobby about 2 yards inside the crease, and that ball just skipped right up over Brian Carcaterra, nestled itself into the upper corner of the cage. And now Carolina, after that timeout, looks to get a nice sequence of offense going for themselves.
Kyle Bell to Garrison, working on that midfield unit with Crofton on the wing there for the attack, and Crofton gets it back to his Jeff Sonke Iron Man behind. They have the timeout, so Klarman now calling something. He thinks he can probably get a good shot here, can tie it up with one good shot. They work out of a 2-3-1 set. Chase Martin on the near side. Middy's parked up top. On the crease is Jordan Herrick, number 23. Chase Martin getting a lot of attention on this near side, and they throw it over his head. And the big bounce of the turf puts it out of bounds. A sloppy pass by Andy Garrison.
That'll give a coach gray hair every single time. You call a timeout, you think you have a good matchup, you have a play that's going to work, and then the team just turns the ball over. That's a coaches hate that, and Dave Klarman doesn't look too happy on the sideline right now. Very frustrating season thus far, the last 2 weeks for Dave Klarman. His final season, 10th and final season here at Carolina, his players really want to send him out on a winning note.
They have a nice record, 6-2, but a very tough road, as you've talked about. The ACC is coming up for them. Right now, though, Hopkins only a 1-goal lead, even though they've had a lot of shots, a lot of possession time as A.J. Hogan brings it down. Denahan over to the freshman starter, Adam Doniger. Doniger from Lynbrook in New York, Lynbrook High, where Quick Kesnick went to school.
Quick Kesnick and John Marcus, too, the all-time saves leader for the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays.
Driving out left-hand side, a little bit of an isolation for him. He's going to give him a lot of trouble. 2 slides coming, and they pick it off in midair. Beautiful job done there by Peyton Chain. And he picks up a loose ball. Look at the wheels on him.
Great job by Chain out of Chicago, Illinois, believe it or not, Loyola Academy. Chain doing a great job. And we talked about Hopkins playing a full 60 minutes for the opening couple minutes of this quarter. They've been real sloppy, Leaf. That time, Dan Denahan and Connor Denahan not executing as well as they could be. And here they might get a break on a transition.
Mac Hammer came in from the sideline, had 2 steps on the Hopkins player trying to keep up with him, but they couldn't make the connection.
Carolina simply spinning it around and making changes. Gozier checking back into the contest. Mac Hammer and Steve Will. This, you talked about it at the beginning of the game, Leaf, the second midfield unit really giving a spark to Carolina, because after the big 3, of Crofton, Chase Martin, and Jeff Sonke. The next points leader is 9 points. Mac Hammer and Steve Will share that. Tim Gozier doing his part to get those stats up and make that second midfield unit an extra threat for the Tar Heels.
Gozier, nice move inside. Out of Roxbury, Massachusetts, a sophomore. He's got his team on with 1 goal. Big hit by Brendan Shook, who tried to clear the ball and get his team moving, but the ball will go back to Carolina. Push called on Shook.
I don't know if they're going to get Shook for a push from behind or an up-high hit. There you see Shook going after the ground ball. Mac Hammer will pick it up. Steve Will thought about throwing some lumber right there, but didn't do so. Mac Hammer picks it up, and he's got his head turned. Doesn't see Shook coming. Boom! Helmet on helmet. That'll get you a minute every single time. Mac Hammer having the hammer come down on him that time. But good news for Carolina. They'll enjoy an extra man opportunity for up to 60 seconds, 1 minute. The UNC extra man offense we can see at about a 42% clip. That's pretty efficient. Johns Hopkins, though, 24% man down killing extra man down unit there for Hopkins. And they were victimized last week by Virginia. 4 for 6 for the Cavaliers. And again, Carolina, careless mistakes, turning the ball over.
It was 6 on 5, and they literally just threw the ball away. Now it'll be a tough ride by Carolina because of the penalty situation. There's 5 guys on 5 guys. They don't have that man advantage, even though the goalie's out to clear. Carcaterra out. There'll be a Carolina blue on every one of the Hopkins players. Schwester trying to get past the checks of Chase Martin.
Schwester is not the most prolific stick handler. He's a short stick defensive specialist for Hopkins. Carolina giving him fits right now, but does a great job of getting it to Carcaterra. Carc reverses field and gets it up to Connor Denahan. The Blue Jays will simply look to kill the remainder of this penalty.
P.J. DeConza in on that clearing play as well. And he, of course, was a starter in the close defense until this week. Now playing in the long pole position. Nice job for him to get the ball up. They are killing the clock. And once they eat at that minute, they've got all the numbers they want. Hopkins.
Yeah, Justin Shaveley right now going against the short stick for Carolina, just spinning the ball around. Real sloppy on part of both teams here to open up the second quarter. Hopkins would do itself well to spin it around, let everybody get a touch, get back into this game, and try to get a good offensive possession here.
Working out the 2-3-1 right in front. An open shot by Bobby Benson, number 13.
You can see the respect again paid to A.J. Hogan. The slide came early. No one slid to fill that spot. Bobby Benson found himself alone, but great save by Blindenbacher. A little kick save for the Carolina goaltender. Gets the ball back going the other way for his mates.
Jordan Herrick brings it down with a lot of speed. They put it out front to Andy Garrison. Garrison touches inside the box to give himself a fresh count. They still put some fresh people in with Kyle Bell coming in to balance out that midfield unit.
Kyle Bell and Austin Garrison, 2 highly touted freshmen coming in to play for North Carolina, and they played extremely well in the first 8 games of the season for the Tar Heels.
Herrick against A.J. Hogan. Good move, gets inside. Chase Martin behind the control of Sonke. Nettler not in a hurry to take it away from Sonke. He's got great size. Working from the wings. Sonke now elects to drive left, looks up top. They've got a shot there. Martin gets checked at the last moment. They had a shot early on. Martin held him for a second, and that cost him because they got a stick on him.
The way that Chase Martin was moving his stick around, it didn't seem like he was sure whether or not he had the ball on his stick, so he didn't want to shoot before he was certain. But here you can see Sonke, strong left-handed drive, draws the defense. Chase Martin should have shot it right there, but then he just dilly-dallies a little bit and then gets off a weak shot off of the check. Chase Martin has to can those opportunities, much like the Hopkins players have to get theirs as well.
1-goal game as Sonke takes a shot with the left hand off the pipe and comes right back. Nadalin gives a little fan move. Carolina over, and they're calling a push on Hopkins. Benson gets the call for the push. It'll go back to the Carolina Blue.
And that one maybe a little bit questionable. Benson and the defenseman that time for North Carolina were kind of wrapped up together. Number 40, Hunter Lewis. There you see they're wrapped up together. Sean Nadalin, jump ball, and he gets it, puts it over to midfield. These guys are just scrapping for it. There you can see Lewis just simply stepped on the line. Should have been offside Carolina, but nonetheless, Carolina will get possession.
And they've had some possessions here in the second quarter. A lot of time on the offensive end as they've come back to a 1-goal game. Kyle Bell gets it behind again to Sonke. He'll load up behind with Chase Martin. Martin with Tester right on top of him, challenging him. Martin looks after the slide. Brendan Shook all over him. Testa getting ready to help. Testa's kind of caught in no man's land, gets the loose ball. Testa was caught out there playing nobody, but basically came back to get possession.
Testa very active on those ground balls and does a great job of walking the dog, getting that ball down real low in his stick right against the turf to avoid checks. And John Brasco looking inside to Doniger. Blindenbacher, though, stones him. And we have a push call against Carolina. Nice call by the referee that time. Adam Doniger just snuck underneath the defense. John Brasco did a good job of selling, faking that shot. There you see Dan Denahan getting it to Brasco. Brasco, an accomplished shooter in high school, gets the defense. Doniger tiptoes around the crease, but Blindenbacher there to stone him, and Mayer pushes Doniger into the crease. Good call by the ref. We'll have possession back to Hopkins, and here comes that matchup. Short stick on short stick. Ryan Quinn going up against Jordan Herrick of North Carolina.
Doniger will be thinking about that opportunity for a while. He gave no fake whatsoever. He showed high, he shot high, and the goalie was waiting for him. Any fake at all, he gets an easy goal there. Quinn working the back corner. Fraterola, he's had some shots today too, some chances, hasn't found his mark yet. The only two scorers, Connor Denahan and Shaverly, both in the first quarter.
Hopkins likes to invert the second midfield unit. They like to run the short sticks behind. But Rob Fraterola looks like he might be a little bit more aggressive here, a little more purpose to his dodge as he heads to the cage.
See the saves, Blindenbacher 3, and they've been dramatic. Carcaterra 2, and the one goal that he did let in right through the legs, close to it on a bounce shot.
Yeah, not the great save, not a good way to start the game for Blindenbacher, but he's regrouped himself and made some real nice stops lately. But here, Robiano off of Dan Denahan, deflected, easy save for Blindenbacher.
Gormson, number 13, got a little piece of that. Look at the wheels coming down the field. Kyle Bell. Gozier gets it over to the wing, and Andy Jonas trying to get control. No push call. Carolina getting very physical.
The referee Scotty Boyle down there had a front row seat for all that action. The ball goes out of bounds off of North Carolina, awards possession to the Blue Jays. And we can see that Carolina's made a couple adjustments now, Leaf, on the attack. Kevin Mime in the game, as well as Andy Jonas. And Tim Gozier looks like he'll stay in the offensive half to run some midfield for the Tar Heels as well.
Putting a lot of pressure on Shook. Shook faked the pass and takes it up himself. Great size, but tremendous stick ability, or ability to control the stick with that long pole. Shook still looking for help. Can't get it. They have two players checking him, and he's going to lose it. Finally, triple teamed.
We'll have an illegal procedure call. Nope, we will have a 10-second call. John Haas knew that his team was in danger of getting that 10-second violation. Called timeout.
Well, he is hopping, man.
Shook out.
Shook's got to make the pass somewhere in here, and he just keeps the ball.
He certainly does. You can see Bob Benson was an option. He could have just flipped it to him, but Shook. But credit Carolina, it was like glue there, playing great defense. And right around now is when John Haas makes the timeout call to save possession for his team. There you see Brendan Shook, the long locks of hair blowing out of his helmet. Very accomplished football player. And there you see John Haas trying to get some things settled.
I want to remind you all, if you want to see highlights of all the best games in lacrosse, join us for Toyota Lacrosse Weekly every week through June. Tuesdays at 4:30, Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. We've got a tremendous show with 12 highlights on average a week. All the greatest action will be highlighted for you in 30 quick minutes. Watch Toyota Lacrosse Weekly every week on Home Team Sports. Well, Mark, this one started off with a lot of great control for Hopkins. Everything going the way John Halls wanted. They had the two-goal lead. All of a sudden, Gozier comes out, ties it in the second quarter. Now you've got a dogfight, and Carolina gaining confidence every minute.
No question. We talked about it early. We said Carolina had to keep it close early, and they have done so. Hopkins came out and threw a lot of shots at Blindenbacher. They had a lot of opportunities that they didn't get shots off on, but Carolina stayed with them. And Carolina is a team that, as the game progresses, the more that they're in it, in this foreign turf here at Homewood Field, they're going to get more and more confident. So Hopkins right now, this is a big possession for the Blue Jays. They have to make something happen.
First unit on the field, Connor Denahan, A.J. Hogan up top. Denahan looking for Hogan out of Bethpage. One of the best players to play this position.
Has the opportunity to become the first three-time first-team All-American since Dave Petramala did it back graduating in 1989 for the Blue Jays. Does A.J. Hogan for this coming season.
We'll have a chance, hopefully, to talk to another one of those great stars of Hopkins years past. Connor Denahan, though, comes in and bounces it behind Blindenbacher, and that one bounces in. He got a piece of it. It dribbled behind Blindenbacher and finds the net.
Connor Denahan is so deceptive when he gets a step on his man. He comes in, he's not a very fast kid, but he's big and he's strong and he lumbers and he throws a lot of stick fakes, however slow. There you see, boom, boom, waits for him to come off the pipe and just puts it right under his armpit. Blindenbacher that time not doing a great job of hugging that pipe as much as he should, but here you see Connor Denahan. He lumbers in and gets a step on his man, cocks that stick back. He's always high to low. There you see it, right under the armpit of Blindenbacher. Didn't stay on that pipe quite long enough to make that save. Nice shot, good placement by Connor Denahan. The second goal of the game for Connor, 8th of the season. Johns Hopkins now back with a 2-goal advantage.
Well, they were shut out for one whole quarter, 15 whole minutes, Mark Dixon. They had not scored, and they're glad to get back on and take that 2-goal lead again. Face-off procedural call to give the ball to Carolina, and they wheel Sankey up top, but he loses a little bit of fancy footwork there. Schwester chases it down.
Turf Monster up and bit Jeff Sankey on that time. They have Sankey running some midfield, and they had a great matchup. Sankey, short stick defender Rich Schwester was getting him, but just unlucky. Tripped over the turf, and Hopkins now back on the offense. Hands up by Rich Schwester, signaling changes. They want to get their offensive players back onto the field for the Blue Jays.
And there's the history, or the future, I should say, of Johns Hopkins on the field right now. You've got Benson, a freshman, and Doniger, a freshman, 13 and 25. Initiated behind.
Referee calling time, sees something that he doesn't like. Looks like there's an extra ball or something hanging around the goal. Don't want to credit any goals that weren't scored by the players themselves.
The old hidden ball trick.
You can see the ref having a good time out there laughing. Said, Hopkins not going to put one by me today.
Doniger sets up on the offensive end. Sack leader. Marking him very closely. And they'll take their time. Rabiano now. Joel Myler will put a little defensive checks on him. Everybody back in front of the goal, waiting for Rabiano to make a move. They spin out one at a time. This is definitely a possession offense. One player at a time. This time, Rob Fraterola comes out, takes possession, and he gets a man to fall down. Now they've got some opportunity. Dan Denahan goes high pipe. Beautiful stop by Blindenbacher. He read it very well.
Blindenbacher read that all the way. Dan Denahan really didn't get his hands free to make a great shot, and that one had a little bit of an off-speed job, high to high. Blindenbacher, though, with another nice save. He's keeping his team in it, making some real nice stops for the Tar Heels.
Here goes Mac Hammer, far side. Likes the open field that he saw. Just for a moment, he was testing Fraterola to see if he could get a little bit of advantage on him, but he couldn't, so they settled the ball down. 3-1 the score, as you can see, with 3:28 left in this second quarter. From Homewood Field in Hopkins. Leif Elsmo, Mark Dixon.
The first attack unit checking back in for the Tar Heels with Tim Gozier running against a short stick. There you see Gozier again, gets a step. Great save by Carcaterra.
The last two shots they've had from the side, both left-handed shots, really takes a lot of angle out. Here come the Blue Jays. Fraterola looks for the fast break. Big cannon shot by Dan Denahan. Backed up by Benson, but not quick enough. Blindenbacher came wheeling out of the goal. It was a textbook fast break. Denahan locked his feet and just let one go high and hard over the pipe.
Yeah, just not an accurate shot. Dan Denahan faking that time. Bob Benson was actually cutting when Denahan unleashed that shot. No backup for the Blue Jays. Blindenbacher, heady play by the Carolina goaltender, racing that out, getting possession for his team.
Steve Will brings it up. Schwester in there as they move the ball behind. Chase Martin now looks to the wing. Martin gives it up to Jordan Herrick. Jackson. Over goes Stephen Will, and it goes behind again.
Looks like a little bit of a zone defense being employed by the Blue Jays right now.
Against a 2-3-1 offense. Carolina will get some kind of rotation going off this.
Freshman Michael Pizer checking into the contest for the Blue Jays, so another new look for Hopkins as he comes in to take the place of Brendan Shook. And Shook will now come back in real quick.
Chase Martin, that shot was about a 25-yard shot at about 102 miles an hour.
Chase Martin is a big boy with time and room. He will bring heat, and he will bring it fast. So Hopkins has to be aware, because Chase Martin, his brother, an All-American defenseman at North Carolina. Chase doing some real good things on the offensive end. 4-year starter for the Tar Heels. We saw his stats, career, 93 goals, so he can shoot.
Tried to sneak it in close to the crease to Matt Crofton. but Hopkins was up to it. Crofton parked on the left-handed side of Carcaterra. They couldn't find him cleanly enough. Hopkins makes the check. They get the ball back.
Pat Jackson trying to thread the needle too much, be a little bit too cute with that pass. Really kind of handcuffed Crofton. It was his midsection in by his belly button, and you all know that the defenseman's stick is going to be there waiting to lay the check down. That's exactly what happened. Hopkins now back on the offense.
So now they will reset their offense. Doniger, with that minute and a half left on the clock, looks for Hopkins to put in the fresh legs. They try to get one more possession. Connor Denahan with a 2-goal lead. Very low-scoring game, but they are in front. John Halls wants to come out with a W. He doesn't care how he gets it.
Yeah, very workmanlike effort thus far by Hopkins. It doesn't matter if it's 20-19 or if it's 10-9 or whatever. A win's a win in men's Division I lacrosse, and both teams desperately need one here this afternoon.
Hogan slips inside a long stick. He gets triple team. Tries to find teammate Connor Denahan up top, and it goes high over his head. With a minute left, it'll go back to Carolina.
Connor Denahan looked a little bit nonchalant that time. A.J. Hogan getting the business over there. Bobby Gorbson was taking a risk that time, trying to go over the head of A.J. Hogan. Here you see it. And Hogan, once you make a mistake, there you see it, boom, and he beats him inside, but then slips a little bit on the turf. But there you see three North Carolina defenders that time. Connor Denahan has to be moving his feet, giving his mate a little bit more help than that. A little nonchalant on that ground ball as well. Turnover again by the Blue Jays. Restart here for North Carolina, looking to get one before halftime and cut that deficit down to 1.
Well, that's what Klarman has to like about this game. I think Hopkins has had pretty much their tempo. They've had their offensive sets and shots, yet it's still only a 3-1 game, one more goal, and you basically tied it up.
Yeah, and Carolina will stick around. They're a talented bunch, and the more chance Hopkins gives them to get back in this game, the more the Carolina Tar Heels will take.
Working in now, trying to get the big shot. Matt Crofton just taking his time. They want the last shot of the day. Crofton isolating way out front Tim Muir. And then they move the ball back around. They'll try to get it back to Chase Martin. Martin now initiates. Schultz in front of him. He doesn't want to take that matchup.
Hopkins in his zone. They seem to have the Carolina offense confused a little bit. Tar Heels not sure where they want to go with it, but now they seem set.
And a rocket from the far side from the kid from Michigan, Sonke. Jeff Sonke, with 7 seconds left, has done just what we thought we might see. He brings it back to a 3-2 game, and even though Hopkins has controlled it the last 10 minutes, here is Carolina back to within 1.
And Carolina was a little bit discombobulated, but then they figured it out. Hopkins was in his zone. Just move the ball and get the matchup. There you see, boom, Jeff Sonke, a 3-quarter arm shot, beautifully placed, stick side of Brian Carcaterra. The defense did not rotate over, but the ball did. Skip pass, nice shot that time. Sidearm sidewinder, bullet into the upper corner for Jeff Sonke. The junior out of Michigan makes Hopkins pay with the second goal for his team.
And the tugboat leaves port as the half ends. 3-2 the score, very low scoring. Hopkins on the good end of it over Dave Klarman and his Carolina team. We've got a whole half left to go. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Catch Virginia Football 2000. The Cavaliers' 6-game home schedule includes the stadium dedication game on September 2nd against BYU and matchups with ACC rivals North Carolina and Clemson. Order or renew your 2000 Virginia football season tickets today. The priority seating deadline is April 7th, so don't delay. Call 1-800-542-UVA1 and be sure to ask about the exciting new ticket packages for 2000.
We'll admit we could have made the new full-size Toyota Tundra more like its competitors. We could have given it a less powerful V8 engine like the 5.2-liter Dodge Ram. We could have given the Tundra multi-piece frame rails like the Ford F-150. We could have given it less stopping power like the 5.3-liter Chevy Silverado. But we decided to quit while we were ahead. The new Toyota Tundra with the iForce V8. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
Lax World, the lacrosse superstore. If you want to be the best player that you can be on the field, then you want the greatest equipment selection that you can find. And that's at Lax World. Everything you need to be the best. Go to the lacrosse superstore. Lax World. Call 1-800-PLAY-LAX.
at Homewood Field. Johns Hopkins enjoys a 3-2 lead. Very close game as they head toward the second half, but we've got a few special interviews for you before we get to that second half. I'm joined by Patrice Brilski, and we want to talk about a very special event, the Johns Hopkins Children's Center. And Patrice, for the last 3 years, this Hopkins team has had a very special relationship with the cancer group over here, and games like today's game contribute in a big way.
Yes, they do. The players have been volunteering, actually, with the patients and families once a month. 4 or 5 of them will come to the Children's Center, and they work with the Child Life TV project. One player has to host a TV show with a puppet mascot, and the other 4 get matched up with patients whose parents aren't there right now, or at that time, to watch the show with them and help them use their telephone to call in and give their paw up or paw down on the show. It's a wonderful opportunity for the players to see maybe some of the things that kids are going through. I know we've got a talented group on that field, and they're pretty healthy, and they're darn lucky. And it all started with a real-life tragedy in the fact that Hopkins lost a teammate 3 years ago to cancer, and that got them involved. And Carolina has not been without their own tragedy. They lost a teammate to cancer just this year. So both teams involved today. Proceeds will go to benefit the Johns Hopkins Children's Center, and this is a great way to continue remembering these players. It is. You don't want to lose the spirit of the person that shared their life with the players and with those families. And so small things like this, that, $1 from every ticket, it goes a long way to meet the needs of the patients and families and help the families who have lost those loved ones. Johns Hopkins is always so special with cancer research and special treatment of patients in a lot of different areas. If you have trouble, you usually go to Hopkins. A special aspect of this campus and this educational aspect of Johns Hopkins. Talk about the Children's Center very quickly and the special things it brings. Well, we are world-renowned in terms of meeting the medical needs of our families. We get children from all over the country, as well as, it's really important to remember, there's kids from our own backyard here in Baltimore, the county, throughout Maryland that receive the services. There's new discoveries made every day, but it doesn't take away from the special care that every patient and family gets from the doctors, the nurses, social workers, and the child life specialists. Everybody puts forth 100% effort to take care of our families. And the Johns Hopkins team learned that firsthand 3 years ago, and they've continued to contribute to this great cause. Thank you, Patrice, and when we come back, we will continue with our coverage of this lacrosse game.
Brian had a lot to do with certainly where the game is right now.
I think of quality and excellence in product and sticks.
I think it's a combination of history in the game, their willingness to be innovative.
Brian's been there from the start. We're very happy with the equipment, the quality, the protection. It didn't take long for the players to be saying to us, Coach, this is the stuff we want to be wearing. It's nice to know that they've been there and they're going to be there in the future.
We set out to build a new full-size truck unlike anything else on the road today. Its 32-valve I-Force V8 engine will redefine performance, and its one-piece frame rail chassis will give new meaning to strength. And yet there is one crucial area where we fall short of most other competitors in our class, and that's price. Introducing the new full-size Toyota Tundra. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
From TNT and Hallmark Entertainment.
Don Quixote de la Mancha. That is my name and title.
He was an ordinary man living in an extraordinary world that existed only in his mind.
There are no giants in Spain. Perhaps you never went looking for one.
John Lithgow, Bob Hoskins, Vanessa L. Williams, and Isabella Rossellini see an impossible dream come alive through the eyes of Don Quixote. Sunday, April 9th at 8 Eastern on TNT.
The NBA on TNT and TBS Superstation. 29 teams, one dream. Over 80 games, one mission. Over 300 players, one obsession. One goal, one desire. One reason to play the game. The NBA on TNT and TBS Superstation.
It's a beautiful day here in Baltimore. Homewood Field is the venue as the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays host the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Mark Dixon, and I don't think they came in on eggs, both these teams and their coaches, because they had to get a W. I don't think either coach is any more comfortable. This is a very close game.
It's been a dogfight the whole way. 3-2 Hopkins leads by 1 here at the half. Anything can happen here in the second stanza of the action.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats right now and see if we can get any story. They're brought to you by Papa John's, and let's see if we can drive any kind of conclusions out of these numbers.
Stats really as even as a scoreboard. 15-11 advantage for Hopkins, and then shots, saves, Blindenbacher with 5, Carcaterra with 3. Face-offs are 4-3, but the big one there, Leaf, ground balls. Hopkins a 23-13 advantage. They've yet to enjoy an extra man opportunity. Hopkins really hustling, getting after the ground balls, but that hasn't translated into a whole lot of goals.
Our Papa John's stats show you that they've had possessions, but not the goals to show for it. When we come back, we'll show you some highlights from the first half. Stay with us.
If someone had told me years ago my hair could grow back, I wouldn't believe it.
Look, this is my own hair, and it'll grow for the rest of my life.
We simply take the hair that is permanent and transplant it to where you are losing it.
Microsurgical hair transplantation and the procedures practiced at HRG allow follicular units as small as 1 hair at a time to be transplanted. The result? Coverage where you are thinning, and a new hairline if you need it.
The good thing is you can get your hair back. You just need to find out about it.
The first step is to educate yourself. My staff and I will explain every proven method of replacing your hair.
Believe it. This is where I was losing my hair, and now it's growing back.
Are you ready for your hair to grow back? Call HRG now. Simply leave your name and address, and we'll send you our free color booklet. Don't wait. Call the toll-free number now.
Believe it.
When baseball history was made, Baseball Weekly was there. Now, let Baseball Weekly take you into the next century of exciting baseball action. You'll get the best and most complete Major League coverage, expert advice for fantasy players, an insider's view of Big League Baseball, reports on top Major League prospects, and much more. Subscribe now so you won't miss history in the making and get the Major League Baseball All-Century Team video free. This historic video showcases the century's greatest players in never-before-seen game footage, exclusive interviews, and compelling stories. So call now and you'll get 52 action-packed issues of Baseball Weekly for just $39.95, plus the All-Century Team video free with your paid order. Nobody brings you the excitement of the game like Baseball Weekly.
Homewood Field getting set for the second half as we look at some youth players out there on the field. Right now, the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays enjoy a 3-2 lead in this game with a half to go. Leif Ellsman along with Mark Dixon. Mark, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, starting with the first and last goal of the second quarter.
Tim Gozier gets Carolina on the board with just a nice juke move, nice bounce shot, beats out Brian Carcaterra over his shoulder. Hopkins went to his zone, and the most important thing in his zone is to rotate, and Hopkins does not do that. Jeff Zonke time and room with a laser into the upper corner, Carolina's second goal. But here's Hopkins, their second goal. Justin Shaberly, backdoor cut, feed from Dan Denahan. Shaberly gets inside of the Tar Heel defense right there and beats Blindenbacher over his shoulder. Nice shot by Justin Shaberly. And then the I beg you pardon goal by Connor Denahan. Gets a step on his man, plants his feet, a little bit of time and room here, and just puts it underneath the armpit of Blindenbacher, the Carolina goaltender. Hopkins up 3-2 here going into the second half. But like you said at halftime, Leaf, these coaches aren't resting any easier than the beginning of the game.
Nobody's very comfortable. It's a 3-2 game. When we come back, 30 more minutes of action. Stay with us. We'll be back from Homewood Field in just a moment.
Catch Virginia Football 2000. The Cavaliers' 6-game home schedule includes the stadium dedication game on September 2nd against BYU and matchups with ACC rivals North Carolina and Clemson. Order or renew your 2000 Virginia football season tickets today. The priority seating deadline is April 7th, so don't delay. Call 1-800-542-UVA1 and be sure to ask about the exciting new ticket packages for 2000.
Now there's a place to get pizza made the way you'd make it if you could, with the same tomato sauce used in fine Italian restaurants. Sauce made from fresh-cooked vine-ripened tomatoes, And that's only one reason why Papa John's is now the fastest growing pizza company in America. Call and we'll deliver all the delicious reasons right to your door. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Thursday nights on the Superstation, it's movies for guys who like movies. Each week, join hosts George and Karen for all the stuff guys like. Cars, women, fights, and explosions, and none of that touchy-feely stuff. It's movies the way guys want them. Movies for guys who like movies, every Thursday night on the Superstation.
You're on the TBS NASCAR circuit with Richard Petty.
You know, for race fans, it don't get much bigger than Charlotte on Memorial Day weekend.
There's a lot of prestige that goes along with that race. We're running faster going into the corners in Charlotte than we run at Daytona Talladega.
I think that's one of the greatest racetracks I've ever driven on.
It's the Great American Racing Weekend, and it's only on the Superstation.
Live from the Los Motor Speedway, the CarQuest Auto Parts 300 and the Coca-Cola 600. Memorial Day weekend on the Superstation.
3-2, a one-goal game as we start the second half. Lee Felsmo and Mark Dixon as we watch the home team, Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. They've been out in front every minute of this game, but they are not at all comfortable, Mark Dixon. Carolina refusing to go away.
Hopkins has played pretty well in the first half, but they really need to tighten it up offensively, execute a whole lot better, because Carolina has come here with one thing in mind, and that's to win. And it's a dogfight. It's going to come down to the finish if the game keeps progressing the way that it does. Hopkins right now needs to tighten it up offensively. Carolina just simply needs to take advantage of the Hopkins miscues. They've done a great job thus far.
Ryan Damon, number 12 for Carolina, facing off against Whedon. A little bit of an infraction procedurally, so it'll go to Hopkins, and A.J. Hogan picks it up, going against the long stick checks of Gormson. He immediately gets it behind. First-time starter Doniger, the freshman. Back to the team captain on the offensive end, Dan Denahan, and his brother Connor, number 24.
Carolina opens up immediately, Leaf, with a short stick midfielder, number 34, Joel Miller, going up against Adam Doniger.
Good move inside. A.J. Hogan had a step. He tried to find Benson coming across the crease, and they just did not make the connection.
And Benson actually didn't have his stick free that time. Hogan could have maybe taken another step, gotten a shot, or gotten it to X behind to get the backside cuts.
Connor Denahan trying to get off a shot, can't quite get one cleanly as Carolina continues. Doniger gets behind. Dan Denahan looks up top, looks to the crease, can't find something. He's got a little bit of room for his own push. Moving in for the right-handed shot, tried to find Benson and does. Benson got it between two defensemen and redirects it. Within 1 minute of the second half, it's now a two-goal game, 4-2 Hopkins.
Great start to the second half for the Blue Jays. Dan Denahan doing what he does best, and that's using his strength to get position on the defenseman and then just look inside the open man. Nifty feed to Bob Benson, who just has a sliver of light. He saw his defenseman turn his head. Benson just simply sneaks behind him. Here you'll see the defenseman waiting to slide on Dan Denahan. Great strength by Denahan. And then a pinpoint accuracy, boom, gets it right in there, high to low. Bob Benson finding the back of the cage. John Haas couldn't have asked for a better start to the second half with his freshman, Bobby Benson, getting his 10th goal of the season. Hopkins 4, North Carolina 2.
Dan Denahan has 3 assists on those 4 goals, a big factor today. As he comes up and gets a possession, he's ragged by 2 Carolina players, and finally Hammer gets it back. Now he's lost his stick. He can't pick it up. Finally, Doniger does. He moves into the middle to create a slide. Doniger's going to launch himself, and he gets a goal. Beautiful job by the freshman. Adam Doniger saw that he had a little bit of room. He drove to the middle, had an opportunity to pull a shot, and he gets it before he steps in the crease.
And Adam Doniger can thank P.J. DeConza for a great check. Here you'll see DeConza D-stick Mac Hammer with just a whack and gets that ball on the turf. Doniger picks it up. Carolina players running into themselves, and Doniger with some great speed in addition to his size finds daylight and just tiptoes around the crease and beats Blindenbacher. Beautiful shot that time by Adam Doniger. His 3rd goal of the season, the freshman out of Lynbrook. But P.J. DeConza really making that happen by de-sticking Mac Hammer and creating the ground ball situation. DeConza, nice job after being out of the close defense this week for Johns Hopkins.
They scored that goal 20 seconds after Bobby Benson scored his goal to open up this half. So Hopkins with another possession with Whedon out there giving it behind. They've had every possession in this second half, and they have 2 goals to show for it. Strong start for John Halls and the Blue Jays.
We said this game was going to come down to the wire to progress the way that it did in the first half, Leaf. And Hopkins right now comes out swinging in the second half. They got Carolina on the ropes. Another goal here would really bode well for their chances here this afternoon.
You always wonder about the halftime speech. Obviously, John Halls found something. He got him fired up. Hogan looks to the far side, gives it to Shaberly. Doniger now looks for Denahan, who's really controlled the game from the offensive end of the field. Starting that 2-3-1 set, they roll through. Shaberly comes in, gives Hogan room. Hogan sweeping across, looking for help. He's got a shot from there, but no, the slide comes late. Benson elects to keep the control, go back to Denahan.
Who's won? Bobby Dorfson, the long pole midfielder for Carolina's done a great job keeping A.J. Hogan on the rack. But there you see again the strength of Dan Denahan, spinning away from defensive pressure and finding the daylight, beating Blindenbacher between the wickets. Dan Denahan with his first goal in the afternoon to go along with his 3 assists. Here you see Denahan coming in. Todd Mayer getting his stick underneath his arm. Denahan just spins away from the pressure right here. Rocker step and gets daylight. Comes around with just a worm burner. Blindenbacher beaten between the wickets. 3 shots for Hopkins this half, Leaf. 3 goals. Denahan again using his size and his strength right here. Feels Todd Mayer overplaying him to his left and just simply spins away from that pressure. Beats Blindenbacher low. 7th goal of the season for Dan Denahan. His first goal in 2 weeks. And that bodes well for Johns Hopkins. Timeout taking by North Carolina to try to stop the bleeding.
3 goals in 2.5 minutes to start the second half. Klarman calls a timeout. No surprise on that because he's got to go ahead and turn this around. Denahan really controlling this game. Even though that's his first goal, he assisted on the first 2 goals. His brother scored then 1 unassisted. He assisted on the first one of this half. He has definitely been the man on the offensive end of the field for Hopkins.
Go back to our keys to the game. The 3D for Johns Hopkins. The 2 Denahan brothers. Connor Denahan thus far with 2 goals. Dan, his older brother, with 1 goal and 3 assists. And right now, Johns Hopkins doing a great job in their close defense, not giving Carolina much room to operate.
Ground balls are 2-1 in favor of Hopkins, 28-14, and that really, in almost every game, will give you enough possessions to win the game handily. It's starting to take its toll on Carolina. And just as it does, Mac Hammer off that timeout comes up with a big face-off.
Big win for Mac Hammer to give his team some possession. The first possession of the second half for Carolina.
Chase Martin tries to go into the crease. They can't get it cleanly. He was trying to find Matt Crofton. And there, the rusty gate check. Can't get it out of Whedon's stick. Whedon coming in. He's going to crank it up. And an easy save by Blindenbacher.
And Whedon that time, great hustle to get from end to end, but he telegraphed that shot. Blindenbacher was there to meet him when the ball came low.
John Hawes probably thinking his team's getting a little cocky. 3 big goals, and the face-off specialist cranks one from 20 feet. That's what Hopkins, not probably the shot he wanted on that transition. Hall's looking for a little bit more control as Carolina slows down.
Hopkins needs to play with a little bit more confidence, Leaf. I think we're seeing that here in the second half. Eric Whedon coming down with that shot. Not a bad shot, but not the most desirable when you have your face-off man taking that shot from 12 yards out, no screen.
3 goals in 2.5 minutes will give you that kind of confidence. Carolina trying to lock and load on the far side against the short stick of Whedon. Just like that, Nadeline gets it off the turf.
Sean Nadeline, so big and strong, and has done such a great job adjusting to that long pole. With the short stick defense specialist for his first 2 seasons here at Homewood, has done a great job with that long pole.
Nadeline stays on the field, and Dan Denahan tried to get it back to Nadeline. The ball hit the turf, and Carolina comes out with it. Doniger is limping, and I think they're going to call him for a slash.
They're calling number 41, I believe, for Carolina. And that is Zach Leader there. Looks like he may have been chopping some wood that time from the looks of it. We'll have to see the replay. But there you see, getting it back to Sean Nadeline, not the most intelligent decision that time for Dan Denahan. You never want to really feed a long stick. But there you see clearing out traffic. Doniger hit Zach Leader, but Zach Leader right there waxed Adam Doniger right in the back of the leg. And Scott Boyle on top of it. Can't get that past the referees, right in front of his face. Extra man opportunity here for the Blue Jays against the Carolina Tar Heels.
See it, Chris. Be big there, bud. See it.
So they'll have a 6-on-5 extra man set for Hopkins. They can really take control here. Up by 4. They've absolutely exploded here in the 3rd period of play. 3 goals in 2.5 minutes. They'll start in that 2-3-1 set. Dan Denahan behind. That's Connor up top with Hogan. They work it through Rabiano, and Benson comes up to the crease. Near side is Chris Hardy, who lost his starting spot to the young kid Adam Doniger in this game. Hardy, there's a shot right between the old legs on that one. That was nothing but speed. Beautiful shot by Dan Denahan. They've really got goalie Blindenbacher unsettled. He should have made that save, but couldn't. Good velocity.
He certainly should have. Hopkins just a great job patiently spinning it, looking for the ball, and Blindenbacher simply just missed that shot. Nice placement, though, by Dan Denahan. There you see Hopkins just moving it around, looking for a kink in that defense, and there it is. No one slides over. Someone slid late to Dan Denahan. Time and room, puts the ball past him, and what a great job by Chris Harnett, showing his senior leadership, losing his starting position, but coming back on extra man to make something happen. Dan Denahan, though, with the second goal of the game, and Eric Whedon winning the next draw for the Blue Jays.
Hopkins masterful with Whedon leading the face-off charge and controlling this half. 5 minutes gone, they've scored 4 goals and all but 1 face-off. Tremendous job for the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays. We always talk about the legacy, the tradition of Johns Hopkins. Joining us in the booth, Brian Wood, who is a big part of that legacy. 84 through 87, Brian Wood was a first-team All-American for 3 of 4 years. Second team his first year, so 4 times he was All-American. 3 of those years, Mark Dixon, he won the national championship with his team. Brian, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
And Brian was here at halftime with a bunch of young kids, and he's helped coaching in Annapolis with the Annapolis Youth Lacrosse Association. Hopkins getting the ball out of bounds, good control. Brian, tremendous to see the young kids out there. Was number 4 Bo, by the way?
25 was
25 was Bo. But here are the kids in blue from Annapolis playing another youth group. And
that's Bo.
There's Bo, Brian Wood's young son, 1 of 2. Blake's his other one. Look at that shot in close. But the youth groups really, of course, the catalyst of the growth of the sport. And Brian is proud of his heritage here. He is with Craig Boubier, came here and had some electrifying years. You're helping to seed it again down there in Annapolis.
We are. We like to come up and give the little guys a chance to get experience here and see what a big-time lacrosse game is all about.
Brian Hopkins was so dominant in the 70s and 80s. From 72, they only started the NCAAs in 71. From 72 to 89, there were 18 championships. Hopkins was in 14 of the 18 championship games. You were in 3 of them. That's a great heritage to build from.
It is. Hopkins got a special tradition here. Coach Halls and his staff are doing a great job, and I think they're going to be right back in the thick of things this year and hopefully in many years to come.
Well, you're cultivating some great talent down in Annapolis. You had my son. You did a great job with him, too. But I want to tell you, Craig Boubier and you really were one of the 2 biggest stars and a great tandem to play here. That's one thing Hopkins would like to get back. Some local talent staying here and playing and enjoying the big game day experience of Hopkins.
Yeah, we saw some of that local talent out here today. Brian Holman's son and Coach Hall's son were out there. They looked real good, and match them up with a couple kids from Annapolis, and I think they'll be good in about 10 years.
Hopkins now getting it out, and Carcaterra, Mark Dixon, with a nice save. He looks very comfortable with this now 4-goal lead.
Yeah, the close defense that time really pressuring Carolina, making them shoot, and the shot was in close, but it was really a very hurried shot by the Carolina attack. Nice save by Carcaterra, and now Adam Doniger back on the offense for Johns Hopkins. With a 5-goal lead, they've come out explosive here, Leaf, in the second half.
Now again, Doniger controlling behind. Dan Denahan setting up a little pick for him. Connor Denahan comes in. They will again work from the sides, a 2-3-1 kind of set. Well, they'll move it around now, but Denahan really getting a lot of attention out front with the short stick defense.
Connor Denahan telling everyone to clear out. He was going to dodge right there, but A.J. Hogan trying to set the pick. But great matchups here. Hopkins has 2 Carolina short stick midfielders. They want to take advantage of one of these guys and run him a little bit.
A.J. Hogan hasn't lit the net yet, but he does this time. He got past one defender, faked a little bit of a pass, and then left-handed just burns it past the hip of a racked goaltender, Blindenbacher. Blindenbacher absolutely dizzy from all the shots this quarter.
Yeah, really shell-shocked. Shows you what I know. A.J. Hogan taking matters into his own hands. Just a simple split dodge, right to left, and just turns on the afterburners. No slide comes, and you know what that means when A.J. Hogan has a shot. It normally translates into a goal. Beautiful high-to-low shot that time, beating Blindenbacher offside. A.J. his 10th goal of the season, beating Bobby Gormson, the long pole for North Carolina, who up to this point has had the better of that matchup this afternoon.
Hopkins again continuing control, 8-2 now. They have absolutely blown this game open here in the 3rd quarter. Hogan finally getting on the score sheet. It's a guy that counted heavily and they only had 1 goal last week against Carolina. Brian Wood, you look at the game today and 2,000 changes from when you played.
I just think all the players are bigger, stronger, faster. Stick work across the board is better. Every player's got fabulous stick work, and I think it's a fun, exciting game, and look forward to many years with two sons. We'll be around for a long time.
You're coaching that youth, the smallest division. And I know for a fact your son has been playing at that level for like 5 years.
Almost.
He is going to be excellent. He's been handling a stick, and that's what it takes. You handle a stick when you're 4 on up, and you get to be pretty good.
Well, he just really loves it, and I find him throwing the ball up against the wall all on his own.
Hopkins doing a great job today because you'll take those kids back to have a bull roast, and they'll have time to spend time with the players, meet them, associate with them, and really get a good feeling for the campus.
Yep, they're going to get a good experience here at Hopkins. I just would like to thank Hopkins for giving us this experience, and the kids are already talking about it. They were so excited on the sideline. It was amazing, but a bunch of us are staying up for the bull roast, and they'll get to meet some of the players and the coaches, and just a wonderful experience for them.
We'd like to thank Brian Wood for joining us, and good luck with all the kids at Annapolis Youth Lacrosse Association. The kids in blue will be out here wearing blue in about 10, 12, 14 years. Watch for them, folks. Brian Wood, true champion and part of the legacy of the great tradition of Hopkins.
Thank you very much.
Wow, Hopkins continues the roll, 8-2. They're up by 6 with 5:55 left, and Mark Dixon, John Halls couldn't have drawn it up better. They just came flying out with control, which they've always had, but they're getting the ball in the net.
Well, I know you and I this week fielded a lot of questions. What do you think Hopkins, how do you think they would be if they could just hit the goal? And I think we've seen it here in the second half. 4 shots on cage and 4 goals. Hopkins opening up a very tight dogfight and taking a 6-goal lead here. So great signs for the Blue Jays, and the heels really are on their heels. They're reeling from this Hopkins explosion.
And now the patient attack really wears you down because you have to start extending your defense, which gives you more opportunities to shoot. Inside, watch out, Doniger. And what a sensational save that time by Blindenbacher. Doniger got open and really laid a left-handed shot. That time, Blindenbacher came up big.
Real nice save for Blindenbacher that time, and that has got to get his head back into this game after really being shelled in the opening 10 minutes of this quarter. Carolina now needs to settle it down, be patient, look for a good matchup maybe to exploit. They really desperately need a goal right here to get back into this game.
Carolina now controlling for some of the few moments of the second half. 3-2, they closed it up with a goal 7 seconds from the end of the first half. That made it 3-2, but it's been all Hopkins here in the third quarter.
You would think Carolina would be the ones having the momentum going into the locker room. They certainly did, but Hopkins squashing that thus far here in the second half. They just come out on fire, opening up this 8-2 lead. But right now, Stephen Will looks like he's going to take advantage of Connor Denahan. Short stick matchup on defense. Likes to spin it around. Long time left to play, about 14 minutes left, 19 minutes left in this game if you include the fourth quarter. And Carolina needs to begin to chip away at this lead.
Carolina looking to get things inside. Just noticed that Brendan Shook is not on the field.
Yeah, Brendan Shook is on the sideline right now for the Blue Jays. Looks like they're giving the freshman Michael Pizer a little bit of a run. Shaking things up here is John Haas. Defensively, Sean Nadeline taking P.J. DeCon's place. Now Michael Pizer getting some real meaningful quality minutes for the Blue Jays on close defense.
See how that pans out. Pizer comes off the field and they switch some guys around. But still Shook, who is really the most active long stick guy. I think back to that play late in the first half when he kept the ball. Maybe a little bit of disciplinary talk going on here.
Perhaps maybe a little bit of an eye-opener, a kick in the pants, if you will. Brendan Shook, you know, hey, if you're not going to do your job and if you're not going to do it effectively, we got guys on this team who can play, and we're going to give them a chance as long as they work hard. And that's what John Haas' philosophy has been here at Hopkins since day one.
I think Brendan Shook is so talented. My only complaint for Woodley one is that he tries to do too much. He is so athletic that he tries to help everybody. He is sensational, and I think he thinks that he has to play more than his own man, which sometimes can cause trouble.
Certainly, that'll happen when you're playing with a 1-3 team. The Hopkins guys definitely are frustrated with the start of their season, and Brendan Shook has been in the thick of things, a very active defenseman, but you have to know your role, and you have to know when to come and when not to, and maybe that would be the situation right here with Brendan Shook.
P.J. DeConza back on playing the long pole right now. Number 31 is DeConza, as you see. Jeff Sonke, haven't heard much from him since he scored that second goal, the last goal by Carolina, with 7 seconds to go in that first half. That one goes wide. Carcaterra wheels behind, and boy, does he look comfortable. Hasn't played with too many leads this year. They beat Hofstra. That was a quality win for them. And this would be their second win of the season.
Certainly, and a real sloppy job that time on the clear. Carolina gobbling up on the ride. Brian Carcaterra now, 574 career saves. Leaf passes Quint Kesenick, second on the all-time list of Johns Hopkins goaltenders. And Hopkins has had a great story tradition of netminders. And Brian Carcaterra really etching his name in Hopkins history.
He won't go higher than that because Jonathan Marcus is like a stratosphere above him.
877 career saves for John Marcus.
He took some rubber.
Oh, yes, he did. He got peppered, and he got peppered often and frequently and hard. So don't think Carcaterra will catch John Marcus, but still a great accomplishment for the goaltender here, senior out of Yorktown.
Carcaterra moved from 5th to 4th to 2nd to 3rd to 2nd in the span of a few weeks. He's got to go like 120 more to get to Jonathan Marcus.
It'll take about 4 more years for him to pass John Marcus.
Shot from the far side. Sankey got a loose ball and just drills it past Carcaterra. Sankey proving he's got a tremendous shot, and you've got to cover him. Goal number 3 for Carolina.
Real opportunistic Jeff Sankey that time. The pass was coming over, but a bounce pass from Matt Crofton. Looked like team double-teamed Crofton, and he was able to find Sankey. There you see Ryan Quinn sliding over, and Sean Nadelin slow to slide over to Sankey. With time and room, buries that shot, and he stops that 5-goal run by Hopkins. Hopkins 8, North Carolina 3, 1:47 left to go here in the third quarter. Second goal of the game for the junior out of Michigan, 16th of the season. And we said that the big 3 had to show up for North Carolina. Thus far, only one of that triplet set has scored any points, and that's Jeff Sankey.
Sankey comes out, get a little bit of water. He's a little bit spent. He's put a lot of himself on the field. Actually, there's something with his leg. His leg's bleeding.
Blood rule. You have to go out and get some coverage or some bandage on that knee, and that's what the training staff for Carolina looks to be doing to Jeff Sankey.
A little bit of rug burn from Sankey. Fairly new carpet here at Hopkins, and that thing will take a piece of skin off you if you go down on it.
Timeout call by North Carolina again, Leaf, in order to save the illegal procedure. 10 seconds. Once that ball is won in the offensive zone of the field, it has to be advanced into the other team's defensive box. Carolina didn't look like they had a chance to do that. Nice timeout call by Dave Klarman to organize his troops.
You know, Hopkins, we talk about that tradition again, and Mark Dixon, you were part of the great program here, graduating in '94. This team leads all NCAA programs in qualifying for the NCAA tournament. All programs, right there. Here's the proof of the pudding. Ahead of Miami of Florida in baseball. So not just lacrosse supremacy, but so good are they in qualifying for postseason play that they are in front of everybody in all NCAA sports.
Yeah, and you look at the story of Miami of Florida. They win College World Series, it seems, every year. North Carolina, of course, back in the Final Four for men's college basketball. Virginia had a string of 4 straight national championships back in the mid to late 90s for Virginia, and Michigan, of course, in hockey. But Johns Hopkins, year in and year out, the Blue Jays, the road of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is the tournament, NCAA tournament in May. And as you know, Leaf, it's not considered a successful season at Johns Hopkins unless you capture a national championship. Not only have they not won a national championship since 1987, they have not appeared in a national final since 1989. So Hopkins, as the team's passed in the 90s and the 99 team, they're really hungry and eager to get back into the championship this year in 2000. And John Haas is a great coach. He's a man who could certainly lead them to the promised land.
They're starting to move that way today. They've got an 8-3 lead, a 5-goal lead over Carolina, a 5-goal run to start the third quarter. Put them there. Sankey for Carolina just answered, and they get the ball again after that timeout call by Dave Klarman.
Brennan Shook back on the field now for the Blue Jays. Maybe a little bit of time on the bench to get in his head. John Haas and Brian Volker, the defensive coordinator. But Jeff Sankey coming up top now, matched up against Sean Nadelin.
Sankey with great wheels, went a little bit wide right of the goal. I tell you what, he got the step he wanted. I don't think anybody could keep up with that guy. He's got tremendous size and good speed. He missed the target a little bit to the right.
Jeff Sankey, big and strong, 6'2", 195 pounds. Great motion on that shot, just a little bit inaccurate. And he normally would back up that shot with him out of position. His teammates didn't help him out by backing up the cage, saving possession. Turnover to the Blue Jays.
A.J. Hogan has the ball. He's the last person to score for Hopkins. Gives it up to Connor Denahan. You can see that 45 seconds left in the third quarter. And look at those shot totals. 28-14. 2-1 Hopkins. Difference between shots, wasn't it? Difference between ground balls.
Difference between this and weeks past is that Hopkins is canning their shots here in the third quarter, and they've been able to open up a little bit of a lead. Connor Denahan, though, nice defense by the North Carolina defense to really handcuff him.
Flag thrown, delayed call. It'll be an extra man play for Carolina. Once the ball is dead, once it hits the turf, it's whistled.
And that'll be an off-ball play. It looks like Justin Shaberly giving a love tap to the North Carolina defense that time. A little bit of frustration on the part of Justin Shaberly. Not a very smart foul at this point in the game because he Coach Todd Cavallero not real happy with the actions of Justin Shaberly. But North Carolina, great opportunity for them as you see Dave Klarman looking on. They just have to chip away at this point in the game. Lee, 14 seconds remaining. Will be interesting to see. They'll probably try to get one quick shot off, and then if they don't score on that shot, they'll hold possession to begin the fourth quarter with the ball. Extra man thus far, though. North Carolina 0 for 1. It looks like Jeff Sonke's just going to hold on to the ball, and Carolina will get possession to begin the fourth quarter here at Homewood Field.
And Mark, it wasn't even a 0 for 1. It was really a pathetic extra man. It was
0 shots.
0 shots. They really didn't get a good quality look at it. So they'll take that possession into the fourth quarter. They'll start quarter 4 down by 5 goals, but they'll be up by 1 man. Mark Dixon and I will be back with fourth quarter action from Homewood in just a moment.
We'll admit we could have made the new full-size Toyota Tundra more like its competitors. We could have given it a less powerful V8 engine like the 5.2-liter Dodge Ram. We could have given the Tundra multi-piece frame rails like the Ford F-150. We could have given it less stopping power like the 5.3-liter Chevy Silverado. But we decided to quit while we were ahead. The new Toyota Tundra with the I-Force V8. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
Brian had a lot to do with certainly where the game is right now. I think of quality and excellence in product and sticks. I think it's a combination of history in the game, their willingness to be innovative.
Brian's been there from the start. We're very happy with the equipment, the quality, the protection.
It didn't take long for the players to be saying to us, Coach, this is the stuff we want to be wearing.
It's nice to know that they've been there and they're going to be there in the future.
We set out to build a new full-size truck unlike anything else on the road today. Its 32-valve I-Force V8 engine will redefine performance, and its one-piece frame rail chassis will give new meaning to strength. And yet there is one crucial area where we fall short of most other competitors in our class, and that's price. Introducing the new full-size Toyota Tundra. Have we gone too far, or have others not gone far enough?
Hopkins leads 8-3. A lot of it has been the explosion of the offense in the third quarter, and then they've gotten great support defensively. Brian Carcaterra making a big block there off his leg. He has liked the new look of the defense.
Yeah, he certainly does. They've kept a lot of pressure off of him, and with that save lead, there you see it. Brian Carcaterra going above Quint Kesenick in the all-time saves leaders for Johns Hopkins. As we talked about, Brian would have to play about 4 more seasons to catch John Marcus, the goaltender here at Homewood from 93 through 96. But great job by Brian Carcaterra. Stellar career, really the leader of that defense.
Right now, an extra man play for Carolina. They have scored the last goal, and they have a chance to put some heat on Hopkins and Carcaterra right here. Last time they had an extra man, they didn't really get a good shot off. Hopkins was tremendous in taking away all opportunities. They start in that 2-3-1 set, man behind. They give it to him now, looking to the crease backside. There's a shot, and Carcaterra comes up with a big block. Tremendous job. Timmy Muir wheeled in front, but Carcaterra read it beautifully.
Yeah, real nice shot that time by Matt Crofton. Wheeled and dealing in front. Spin move. Brian Carcaterra didn't bite, though. A great position to make a real solid save. As we watch Brian Carcaterra right now with Matt Crofton getting that ball from behind. Here's Crofton. Nice cross-cage feet. Spin move. Carcaterra didn't bite. Nice position. Beautiful save. Stick was there to make the save, but if the stick did not get on the ball, the leg was there. So two-pronged save that time by Brian Carcaterra. Chase Martin looking to operate against against a short stick defense for Hopkins.
Crofton again parked on the right-hand side. He really owns it over there, and they're giving him a lot of pressure. Inside, big shot, but bounces too high. They had the shot they wanted with Stephen Will. Really extended himself, but a big bounce.
Steve Will with a real nice move inside. Hopkins caught napping on defense. Everybody just watching him instead of moving their feet. Will, though, nice high-to-low shot. Carcaterra again off his left foot. Nice save by Brian. Like we said, Leaf, when guys shoot from 10, 12 yards out of Carcaterra, he's tough to beat, but it's when you get those shots inside of 4 and 6 yards is where he's been struggling all year. And Carolina, again, turning the ball over. Not what they needed, trailing here 8-3. And that is the saves there, right there. Blindenbacher with 8 for Carolina. Carcaterra with 6, and 2 nifty ones coming in the last offensive possession for the Tar Heels.
Not a huge day numbers-wise. It's been control offenses on both sides, so those aren't record-breaking numbers by any stretch of the imagination. Still in single digits as we are into the fourth quarter. 5-goal lead by Hopkins on that 5-goal run to start the third quarter. Halls, I'm sure, wants to keep the momentum going because they lost a little bit of it with Sankey scoring the last goal. There's an on-the-move shot. Beautifully done. Hopkins comes down on a clearing play, and Ryan Quinn puts one on target.
Not really the smartest shots. Hopkins had the ball out of their stick for the last about 2 minutes. They get possession back. I think Coach Ross would have rather them work the ball around for a more high-efficient shot, but Ryan Quinn, feeling he had a step on his man, shot that time. Blindenbacher, though, up with his 9th save. Carolina back on the offense, trying to chip into this Hopkins 5-goal advantage.
This is Mac Hammer with Ryan Damon up top to help him out. They got fresh legs on there. Joining them, Pat Jackson, number 15. But their ace attackman, Chase Martin, initiates from behind. Martin and Testa. Martin wheels around with a right-handed shot and just goes wide. Carcaterra telling his defense to tighten up, keep him out of the center of the field.
Real nice dodge that time. Great opportunity for Chase Martin using his size and his strength to get the goal line extended. Once he gets the goal line extended, though, he comes back with a little bit of a rocker step back into his right hand. There you see it, rocker step. Nice turnaround shot. Just a little bit off cage. Had that been on the mark, that might have been Carolina's 4th goal. But here comes Jeff Sankey pressing the issue, and he's going to draw a foul on Sean Nadelin.
Gets Nadelin to cross-check. He'll spend time in the box, and they'll be back on their extra man play.
Looks like the big 3, 2 of the big 3 at least, taking matters into their own hands. Jeff Sankey, of course, the only member of that unit putting up any points today. Let's not even talk about goals, but assists as well. Actually, Crofton assisted that last one, but Sankey and Chase Martin showing their leadership, going hard to the cage, and Sankey that time drawing a penalty on Sean Nadelin as he gets a little bit of instruction from Brian Volker. Volker and Coach John Haas, though, Leaf, have to be very, very happy with the play of Sean Nadelin, who has adjusted very, very well to his close defensive assignment.
They've tightened up defensively, and when you go back to the legacy and the tradition of Hopkins, it always starts on the defensive end. 6 players against 5. They start in that 2-3-1 and rotate through it. Chase Martin up top. Now they go all the way behind and look back to the crease. Will gives it off to the wing, and that's usually the right-handed shooter. We've seen him. That's Crofton now behind, and they can't get it inside. This Carcaterra can't control either. Will tries to get it on the line, but he loses possession. Hopkins will have the ball.
Carolina at the time doing a good job moving it around. Chase Martin did have some time and room, but hit the outside of the cage. And Steve Will, he could have actually let that shot roll out of bounds. It was still a shot, and it would have been possession back to him, but tough ball to handle on the end line. And a turnover for the Tar Heels, but the Blue Jays come and give it right back. Empty net, Matt Crofton, and he misses the cage. Golden opportunity that time for the Carolina Tar Heels, but Matt Crofton misfires on the empty net. Ball back over to the Blue Jays. Here you see it. Rich Swester trying to find Tim Muir, mishandles the pass. Actually, it was a little bit of a low pass. Steve Will finds Crofton with time and room and just misses the cage. Brian Carcaterra caught out of position that time because he was up trying to clear the ball. Hopkins now trying to clear. And North Carolina, tough ride there. Rich Swester handling the pressure nicely.
So Hopkins again a little sloppy with possession, and I'm sure Halls is going crazy as we look on the sideline. Mental mistakes. Teams at even strength now, 6-on-6. Carolina has had some extra man plays. They've been very anemic in getting off shots. That obviously hurting them, down by 5. Now they'll reload their 6-on-6 offense. Far side, that's number 9, Mac Hammer. He plays an all-around game. Great defensive player. He's got good wheels on the attack end of the field against A.J. Hogan. Pushing for the right. Takes a low shot. Sidearm burner past Carcaterra. Carolina has scored the last 2 goals.
Great job.
Now it's an 8-4 game.
Great job by Mac Hammer working against A.J. Hogan. the offensive sniper for the Blue Jays. Here comes Hammer, just a little split dodge left to right. Gets a step on Hogan. There's a slide. Testa holds off. Schwester does not come up to help out when he should. Right there. Schwester should be sliding and handcuffing, but he gives Mac Hammer just a little bit of an underhand shot. There you see Hammer working in. Right now, Rich Schwester should be coming, but he does not. Stays at home. Gives Mac Hammer just a little bit of sliver that he needs to beat Brian Carcaterra with that sidewinder shot. Nice placement by Mac Hammer. You talked about it. Tough as nails, Mac Hammer, dare I say, with a beautiful shot, getting Carolina back to within 4. 8-4, Johns Hopkins, 9th goal of the season for Mac Hammer.
I tell you, Carolina, maybe the biggest problem for them the last 2 years is their #1 guy, Chase Martin, not being able to shake the great defense of Hopkins. He is their leader offensively, and for the last 2 years, really has not hurt Hopkins at all.
Last year had 3 assists against Johns Hopkins. If I recall correctly, 2 of those 3 happened on extra man. But Chase Martin really being taken out of the game thus far by Brandon Testa of Johns Hopkins. Testa showing All-American form against the leader of that Carolina attack, and it shows on the scoreboard. Hopkins leading 8-4 now. Big face-off. Carolina, last 2 goals of the game. Can they continue the momentum, or can Joe Driscoll, the senior transfer from Herkimer Community College 2 seasons ago, can he come in and stem the tide and get possession for the Blue Jays?
So Driscoll lines up against Ryan Damon. Damon steps over, has a fast break, can't get it cleanly, and is hit from behind. Fraterola does not get the call. Damon does get possession, and they are back on the attack. Carolina very patient. 4 goals down now after scoring the last 2 in a row. They put some fresh legs on there, and now they go with that unit.
Nice Garrison that time by John Brasco. Nice job. So Garrison, Herrick, and Kyle Bell checking into the ball game for North Carolina.
Sankey gets a lot of lumber back there, and Chase Martin gets the ball, or the stick, just ripped out of his hands. Hopkins will get possession. Big time check there. Good defensive stand all the way around. John Brasco with a nifty poke check, taking the ball away, dislodging it from the Carolina player, and then the defense with the long stick doing the job behind the cage. Turnover for Carolina. Hopkins first settled offensive possession in quite some time. Be interesting to see what philosophy, what strategy Hopkins comes out with to try to get their 9th goal, of this game. I think you're going to see a little bit of air come out of the ball here. Would you agree? I think I would. But this defense has been on the field for Carolina. The short sticks were playing offense, and now they got Connor Denahan matched up against number 23, Jordan Herrick. And Denahan looking for an opening, trying to get Hopkins their 9th goal. Moving in, he's got Benson on the crease. He's looking to Benson, the slide coming. Keeps working the short stick. Benson's such a good target on the crease. Big target, reminds a lot of people, Leaf, of Terry Reardon, who graduated here as the all-time leading scorer in Hopkins history. Big frame, left-handed, nice high-to-low shooter. But that time, A.J. Hogan trying to get the ball past Blindenbacher. Carolina in transition. And Carolina bringing the ball down, trying to go from one side of the field to the other. Herrick couldn't get it through, but they luckily get possession back. Sankey looking over to Chase Martin. Testa keeping him silent so far, and Mac Hammer, number 9, with the ball against A.J. Hogan. What a dream matchup that is. Hammer winning the last time with a shot and a score. 2 goals in a row for Carolina after the 5-goal run to start the second half by Hopkins. Carolina making changes, getting some personnel on the field if they want to run. Looks like they'll take advantage of the Shaverly short stick matchup. Here comes Jordan Herrick. It's a quick slide. There's Sankey. And a goal for absolutely Carolina. Ripped left hand. Jeff Sankey. He's got a hat trick, and he is single-handedly putting Carolina back in this game. It's now 8-5 and 3 goals. They feel a little bit closer. Much like this series, Leaf, with Hopkins winning the last 5, has been spurts. Here has been the Carolina run. Hopkins putting up 5 straight goals. Carolina with their 3rd straight. Nice shake and bake move up top by the midfielder. Garrison finds Sankey with time and room again. Brian Carcaterra getting beat. Here's Garrison. Nice split dodge. Justin Shaverly trying to push him out. Slide comes, and there's Jeff Sankey backside. Beautiful shot left-handed, but Eric Whedon coming up with a big face-off right now for Hopkins, pushing the other way. And that is Whedon pushing it down to Dan Denahan. Stick check by Carolina. It will stay in possession of Hopkins. That was a huge face-off, and Whedon had a fast break off that clean face-off. So he comes off the field. They balance up with a midfield unit led by number 26, Jamie Hubbard. They're putting some extra legs in there now. Hall's trying to get some wheels and maybe just take some motion into this offense with his third midfield.
Yeah, third midfield unit checking in, freshman Tim Muir and Don Scott, sophomore Jamie Hubbard, getting their first action offensively. Tim Muir, of course, a short stick defensive midfielder for Hopkins, backing up Rich Wester, but it looks like they want to take advantage of this unit, try to get them some quality minutes and see if they can make something happen here in this game.
I'm going to guess this will be a possession series, as Dan Denahan just controls the ball deep in his own territory. Zach Leader playing tough on him, and Denahan had a shot. Far side, Doniger. He comes in, fakes high, goes low, and what a great goal for him.
Heady play that time by Adam Doniger, just backing up the cage. Dan Denahan beating his man, coming around, misfires with the left-handed shot. Here you see Denahan just with speed, beats Todd Mayer's shot. Doniger's just backing up the cage, but he picks up the loose ball, fakes high, goes low, gets Blindenbacher off his wheels. Nice job that time by the freshman Adam Doniger, making the most of his first start here as a Johns Hopkins Blue Jay. There you see Dan Denahan going against Zach Leader. Quick, just left to right move. I'm sorry, right to left. Misses with the shot, but nobody backing up the cage for Carolina. All the defense slid to Dan Denahan. Doniger picks it up, finds the back of the net. Great job, Adam Doniger, playing very well in his first career start here for the Blue Jays.
And he's getting a little more comfortable, too. Look at Hopkins ragging. But Doniger, remember earlier in the game, had the same kind of finishing position over there, and he didn't fake at all. He looked high, went high, and he was snuffed. This time, he pumped the fake high, and he goes low for an easy shot. So he's learning, getting more comfortable with this Division I lacrosse.
That's a great point, Leaf, and you learn from your mistakes. Adam Doniger certainly did, not throwing a fake in there the first time. He adds the wrinkle the second time around. There you see John Hawes has to be very happy with Adam Doniger. His first game against Princeton was very timid, did not go hard to the cage. Same case for the second week against Hofstra. Didn't play much against Syracuse, but he made the most of his minutes against Virginia, scoring 2 goals, and he's done a great job here today. I think Hopkins has found the third piece of the puzzle, that third attackman that they so desperately need to produce, and Johns Hopkins enjoying a 9-5 lead. There we see the score by quarters. The big difference in the game right now, that third quarter where Hopkins ran up a 5-1 advantage to blow this game wide open.
4 of those were in the space of 4.5 minutes. They really just shocked Carolina. Denahan opens to Bobby Benson on the crease. He couldn't handle it. Great defensive check by Carolina. Big check by Joe Myler. Just leveled him. And here comes Matt Cameron. We know how tough he is. Looking for help. Far side gets it. Clearing up Zach Leader, looking to the offensive end of the field. We know how tough Jeff Sankey is, and he picks the ball back off the carpet.
Big possession right now for Carolina. 7 minutes left to go in this ball game, and just as I say that, bad pass from Sankey. Chase Martin mishandles, ground ball situation. This is good news for the Blue Jays.
Sankey put it down. Here comes Hopkins. A.J. Hogan, he'll just thread through 3 people. Bouncing off Hammer. There's 2 tough customers. That's been a great matchup, the marquee matchup in the midfield. Hammer against A.J. Hogan. Looks to the middle. Dan Denahan. He'll rip it off the pipe. He had beaten the goalie and just didn't find that 6x6. Blindenbacher had that one fly by him.
Real nice shot that time. A.J. Hogan dodging with his head up, coming down, finds Dan Denahan with time and room. High to low shot, bings the corner. Doesn't bing the corner of the net, bings the post. Sometimes the post is the goalie's best friend. Ball goes out of bounds. Hopkins, though, will enjoy an extra man opportunity. Matt Crofton, it looks like, being flagged for that penalty. I'm sorry, no, Crofton is not in the penalty box. It's number 23, Jordan Herrick, with the shot. And with the slash.
It could be Mac Hammer.
Could be Mac Hammer.
Number 9's in here, and Hammer was very active on that last set.
Mac Hammer, tough as nails, probably flagged him for the slash against A.J. Hogan. But nonetheless, Hopkins enjoying a man-up opportunity here. 4-goal cushion. They'll probably look to spin it around, kill some clock, and just look for a real good shot opportunity to get their 10th goal of this contest.
They got Benson on the crease, starting in that 2-3-1, counting from the top. Now they're going to do a little bit of a rotation. Dan Denahan looks to Benson. He's got Benson's stick. Benson looked to make sure he had it. It took that 1/2 second, and Blindenbacher got reset, refocused on it. Took away the effectiveness of the shot. Now they've got numbers. Connor Denahan, wide open. Big shot goes wide right, and Blindenbacher backs it up beautifully. So they were out of position, but a good job by Denahan to say, hey, look, I got a chance for a good shot here. He just missed the target.
Yeah, Connor Denahan that time with time and room coming in. He had the stick in his left hand, but he did have an opportunity to beat goaltender Blindenbacher. But if the shot goes awry, no one backed up the cage for Hopkins, turn over to the Tar Heels. But Bob Benson missing that shot in close, but a real heady play, picking up that ground ball. Benson leading all Hopkins attackmen with 15 ground balls in the season.
Sankey splitting 2 defenders and rips a left-handed shot to make it goal number 5. Count it number 6 for Carolina. That's his 4th of the day.
Jeff Sankey is big and he's strong, 6'2", 195. He just runs right through the check of Sean Nadalin. Nadalin, a strong defenseman in his own right, and they're on the run, a blistering shot right past Brian Carcaterra. There you see the strength of Sankey just getting away, and then you see this dexterity and speed, getting space between him and Tim Muir, the defensive midfielder for Hopkins. 4th goal of the game for Jeff Sankey, 18th of the season. Leaf, this kid can just flat out play. Jeff Sankey really stepping it up for Carolina. His 4th goal of the game. He has 4 of the 6 Carolina scores, and a great job of Jeff Sankey, who now lines up opposite A.J. Hogan for Carolina, coming up as the attackman. One thing to point out, too, Johns Hopkins was extra man during that sequence. North Carolina still a man down, so a double deuce there for Jeff Sankey. Man down for Carolina, and they still are able to score, though, and Hopkins can't be happy with that chain of events.
Huge play. 3 goals makes you feel like you're in the game in lacrosse. 4 goals, you feel like you got a pretty comfortable cushion. 3 goals, you start thinking about it, and Carolina definitely getting some enthusiasm in there, running on the offensive end by that comeback shot. They have scored 3 goals in the 4th quarter to only 1. Adam Donaker's goal. Ball falling out of the back of the stick. Stephen Will had that ball just roll out. Here comes Hopkins. Whedon trying to put pressure on Mac Hammer. Watch out, Fratirola getting down low. Big shot by Benson. He's got it. Finding rope right behind the defense of Blindenbacher. Textbook fast break, easy goal.
Great execution by the Blue Jays on that occasion. Eric Whedon coming down with a head of steam, leading the fast break, trying to disorient Mac Hammer. Hammer doesn't know which way he wants to go, but Whedon sees that his path is cut off to the cage. Ralph Fratirola communicates, hey, here's your help. Gets it to Fratirola, just dumps it down to Bob Benson, a left-handed shot. Beautiful bounce shot past Blindenbacher. Bob Benson here, the beneficiary of Eric Whedon's hustle, gets it over to Fratirola. Fratirola simply dumps it down. Time en route, Bob Benson, the big freshman out of McDonough School, buries that shot past Blindenbacher. 10-6, Hopkins leads.
I think Whedon did a great job of really confusing. We talked about it a little bit, but they were looking for a right-handed fast break. He turned around at the last minute and made it a left-handed fast break, and it really, they only had one guy there to help. One guy was splitting 3 Hopkins players, and it was an easy shot for Benson.
Rob Fratirola doing a great job that time of trailing that fast break, giving Eric Whedon an outlet. So when his path was cut off to the goal, Eric Whedon simply just had to make a nice little pass, dump pass over to Fratirola. Fratirola finds Benson. But there's a story of the game right there for Hopkins offensively. Dan Denahan stepping up, having a great game today after being shut out goal-wise by Virginia 1 week ago.
He was 2-3 when he scored the 7th goal of the game. That was the 4th in a row for Hopkins to open the 3rd quarter. That was really when they opened this game up and took control of it. Not out of the woods yet. 4 goals. It's still possible for Carolina. They've got to move quickly. Chase Martin behind. Testa making him keep his distance from Carcaterra. Carolina again trying to get the big pressure on Carcaterra, and a shot again finds the rope. This time it's Andy Garrison, rather. Garrison came down. Not a lot of room, but good speed and great extension for that right-handed shot.
Just a great shot on the run by Garrison. His midfielder cuts him off to his left. He simply goes right, and Brian Carcaterra not happy with himself. That's one that Carc really should have had. There you see him jump up and slam his stick to the turf, but Garrison just uses speed and great placement on this shot. Real nice shot, but still, Brian Carcaterra, you're shooting on the run, going away from the goal from that far out. Carc knows he should have had that one. Very disappointed in himself as Brian Carcaterra, but great shot by Austin Garrison. 4th goal of the season, his first today. Garrison also had an assist to Jeff Sankey, so he's doing his part to keep Carolina in this game. And Eric Whedon whistled for a warding off. Possession back over to Carolina. They only trail by 3, Leaf, with 4:10 remaining. Very much still in the game are the Tar Heels.
It's very possible, and they have scored 4. They make it 5 of the last 7 goals. They really turned it around, led by Jeff Sankey, showing they do have good team speed. Here they come again. Defensive pressure, trying to get a shot. Carolina wasting no time, sending Zach Leader in there to take a shot.
Be interesting to see if they call this a shot or if it's a check. And the referee's conferring right now across the field, talking to each other. They're going to say it's a shot. Possession will go back to North Carolina, much to the dismay of this very healthy crowd. Now they're going to confer once more. That's a tough call to make.
The interesting thing is here, we know he wanted to shoot.
Right.
But if that ball went in the opposite direction of the goal, so how can it be a shot? I don't know. It depends on when the check came down.
Yeah, referees are probably going to be talking. Scott Boyle, Al Sadler, and Brian Abbott probably talking. Was the defenseman in the motion of the shooting? And that's what the referees are probably saying. Even though the ball did not go where Zach Leader wanted it to go, it still was in that shooting motion when the ball left his stick. So it will be possession to North Carolina. Heady play that time by the North Carolina Tech, running that ball out of bounds, ensuring possession for their club.
Dave Klarman getting his team back to within 3 goals. John Halls coached the Blue Jays, played collegiately at North Carolina.
Outstanding career down in Chapel Hill, 2 national championships. Willie Scroggs, the coach, and the first national championships in the very storied history of North Carolina lacrosse, Leaf, 82 and 83, the first 2 that North Carolina won.
Gosier now, who got him on the boards early in the game, takes another right-handed shot. They've got good speed in the midfield, and they're getting their shots on not on Cage, but on Carcaterra.
We saw Carcaterra that time was a little bit slow trying to make that save. Had that been on Cage, it would have had a chance for Tim Gosier. But there's time and room for Garrison, and he beats Clark again.
Garrison was wide open in front. They looked to double early. They were watching the man coming from behind. Garrison wide open up front, and boy, did he extend himself and put some heat on this shot.
Austin Garrison, just a real impressive freshman out of New Canaan, Connecticut, just simply finds a seam in the Hopkins defense. There you see Chase Martin trying to make something happen. Draws a double team. Doesn't draw a double team, but no one slides over onto Garrison. Time and room. Where's Sean Nadalin? And a bullet right past Brian Carcaterra again from about 7 yards out. There you see Chase Martin head up, gets it to Garrison. Time and room, just a high blister. And nice shot by Carcaterra. Face-offs now. Johns Hopkins 14, North Carolina 5. Carolina wins that one, though. And this comes at a time where Carolina really is knocking on the door. Will Hopkins let them in, or will they slam it shut?
Sankey behind to Chase Martin. Martin doesn't have goals, but he sure is distributing the ball beautifully. And he helped make that last goal happen. Carolina working around. Kyle Bell back to the wing to the guy who just scored, Andy Garrison. Back up top, here goes Bell. Bell looking for a little room with Frattarola. Hopkins extending their defense, looking to help up top. Chase Martin goes behind. Right-handed shooter Crofton gives it back to him. They move it up. They like to start from the midfield. They seem to have found a little something with the midfield offense here late in the game.
And one thing that's really impressed me about Carolina is that they have not quit. But they're still coming, and they're coming hard. Carolina really forcing the issue here, trailing. They could have packed it in when Hopkins hit them with that blitz, but Carolina now standing up to the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays team here at Homewood Field. Hopkins has to do something to stem the tide, to change the momentum of this game. Carolina scoring the last couple goals, really taking it to the Blue Jays in this 4th quarter.
Both teams needing this win very badly. 1-3, Hopkins coming into this one. 6-2 for Carolina, but they only have one quality win. That's Navy, and looking for playoff berths very soon. Ball down, Denahan trying to get it, can't quite collect it. It's just bouncing across the line and tiptoeing the line. Offsides will be the call. It'll go back to Hopkins.
From earlier in the contest, when the defenseman and the attackman got tangled up, it was offsides, or I'm sorry, it was a push on Hopkins. This time Scott Boyle calls it offsides on Carolina. The defenseman's foot can be nowhere near that midfield line, cannot be on that line, or it is offsides. Nice call that time by the referee. Hopkins getting possession, and they'll be well served just to take some air out of the ball, take some time off the clock, but Denahan sees a matchup he likes.
Denahan faked a little bit of a move to his brother and then just exploded to the goal. Nice job of catching up with him. Short stick defender, Joel Myler.
Less than 2 minutes left in the game, Leaf. Hopkins enjoys the lead. They have to keep the ball in the box, in the offensive restraining box. You can see those dotted lines on the side, the solid line up top. Carolina will extend their defense and really pressure the Blue Jays, trying to force the turnover.
So they give it to A.J. Hogan, who can take on most defenders one-on-one. Todd Mayer gets it back, but now Doniger in the back. And look at that wrap check to the face. That'll cost him a minute. Being very aggressive. It'll be a free shot. Denahan, nobody in the goal. Denahan getting wrapped by Mac Hammer. And another penalty called on Hammer.
Play getting very spirited here in the late going, Leaf.
No time left for Carolina. They've got to make a move, and they really made 2 moves here that cost them.
Well, there you see Mac Hammer with the over-the-head check, and then he just holds on. Dan Danahan takes exception and jacks Mac Hammer. Really uncalled for. The referees were on top of it, but sometimes emotions get Mac Hammer. Really uncalled for. The referees were on top of it, but sometimes emotions get the better of you. Looks like it'll just be a foul on Todd Mayer that time. Mayer trying to steal the ball from Adam Doniger as he hid behind A.J. Hogan, and when A.J. Hogan transferred the ball, Mayer tried to jump Doniger, but he led with his stick first instead of the body and whacked Doniger right in the face mask. Minute penalty coming up for Johns Hopkins, extra man opportunity, but remember, they do have to keep the ball in the box, so Carolina will probably extend that defense and really pressure the Blue Jays into having a turnover.
Well, 6-on-5 in this extra man, and really, as you are alluding to, the time is as important as the shot or a goal. So Halls, the coach of Johns Hopkins, will want them to use most of this minute for possession. They've only got 5 guys for Carolina to apply pressure on 6 for Hopkins. So if Hopkins keeps moving the ball and is smart about it, they'll either get a layup or have a nice long possession here, followed by what John Halls hopes is a good shot.
Right now, fundamentals plays a key role. Just simple catching and throwing, drawing and dumping, moving the ball to the open area. We'll see if Hopkins can execute, and that's not a good play that time. But an acrobatic done, walking the tightrope, A.J. Hogan. Great athletic play to save possession for the Blue Jays.
Hogan just very, very opportunistic, really read it beautifully and barely caught it. Almost an infraction. Now Hopkins still looking for control with just 30 seconds left. Carolina's going to have to gamble. Mark Dixon moving downstairs to get himself in position for a post-game interview. Closing moments here for what looks like a win for Johns Hopkins. Under 20. Teams at even strength now as they move the ball to the wing. Chris Harney behind to Dan Danahan, the unquestioned leader of that attack. Benson, a lot of pressure staying inside the box, and that'll do it. The final bell. It's Carolina who has scored a big comeback with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 8 goals, but Hopkins had built too much of a lead, and they end up with a W. 10-8, they win over Carolina. Hopkins now goes to 2-3. Carolina to 6-3. And Hopkins back on track with a big win over North Carolina. We'll come back with our postgame here from Homewood Field, but the Blue Jays with an impressive win against big pressure from Carolina.
When baseball history was made, baseball week